So, funny thing is, this has all been a preamble. It's been an hour and a half of preamble to get to the thing that I really, really wanted to react to talk about. And that was how the stream went where Marina covered it live. Now, we're not going to go over all 6 hours of her stream. We're going to go over a part that really caught my eye, where it was essentially bad ad. We're going to go over what is essentially a debate over the callouts of Marina. She's going to be talking with some people on call. Yes, that's the stream.
But at the end of the day,
where was it? Third bit. Oh no, that was yesterday's stream. My bad. Ads. Yes, debates. I want to see more VTuber debates. Though it's not the kind of debate that I'm used to. I'm used to like political debates where it's talking about different things. It's not usually about somebody's call out. So, y'all ready for this? Oh, I timed that great. Is that as loud as it goes?
All right, chat. So I have a really, really weird situation that I just got invited into. And I'm gonna let you. I guess if anyone feels weird about this, you let me know. But I was invited to go on to a stream that's happening right now, where 3 people are looking over my response, and they are kind of commenting on it, and they are you know, making their commentary and whatever it might be. I think they are all coming from a place where they are not liking it. And I am going to just kind of go in and I guess have like a debate. I don't know, but that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. So we're gonna hop in there right now.
Hello there.
Hello.
You know,
hey, you can see me in chat.
Can you hear me?
Hi. I wish we could have met under not so awkward circumstances, but thank you for popping by.
No worries. No worries at all. No, I'm in these scenarios, like this past day, I've been wanting to be very clear about everything and be very transparent about everything. You know, I'm someone who, I'm sure if anyone here has familiarity with me, they know that I'm like, I don't take shit. I just kind of jump to keeping my space like clear and my head clear, so I will block a lot of people and things like that. So I wanted to take a step away from that, and I wanted to just really focus on answering anybody, not blocking, and having those discussions today. So that's what I've been doing. So I think this is really in the spirit of that, and I'm happy to hear concerns. I'm happy to hear.
It is very much in the spirit of that, and I personally take the approach of don't just block and ignore, but engage and push back. Because if you don't push back, you just let them run with their own narratives, and it just keeps spiraling and 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 spiraling. And when Marina actually started doing this, guess who kind of shut up?
People's opinions. Yeah, and just kind of have a, you know, very civil discussion on that.
I think one thing that I'm curious on, because I'm just a little streamer. How'd you find me?
So I had people kind of that show me when things are happening or being said about me, stuff like that. You know, just people that are friends or whatever it might be, reach out and send me links of things. And so I was made aware that.
Yeah, this actually happens to me quite a bit too. I have quite a few people, or I have a couple of people, handful of people that will send me tweets and stuff, sometimes videos about stuff they want to see me respond to, or stuff that directly involves me. Usually it's people wanting to get my response on things, But yes, this happens a fair bit.
Thought it was happening, and I just remembered, oh, I think there was a stream going on around 11, I think is what I was told earlier today. So I just was like looking around and popping in, but this is the one that showed up. I actually think Mizu, I think yours was the one that originally I was linked to. So I actually wasn't sure whose stream I was on, to be honest, right now.
You're on
but
both.
Yes.
Okay, well, it's nice to meet everybody.
This
Yeah,
is
and I'm
supposed to
happy
be
to chat about
episode 1 of
anything.
our new drama show.
Really,
Yeah,
really
we want to
quickly,
make a podcast out of this.
before we
Well,
get started,
I'm
Introduce
I
yourselves.
feel
Come
like
on.
it's important to say,
I forget if they
we're here
did.
to answer questions, talk about things. Obviously, there's a lot of, I guess there's a lot I don't, myself, I personally don't know. I don't really know a lot about you. So as the
Okay.
person who knows next to nothing about either the Twitter space or the VTuber/drama space, I am very impartial, and all I know about you is that you just block people randomly. And so while
Sure.
we go through this
Okay.
conversation, this will be for everybody, including myself. Let's try and give everybody plenty of room to talk. Don't want to see any blood sports or arguing with anybody. No screaming or yelling, all that good stuff. Let's try and keep it to simple and straight stuff so that we can all keep it nice and comfy for everyone.
Keep it good
So
faith.
Yeah,
before we really
sounds
get
good.
into it, because I am probably the most negative person here towards you, I did want to get something out of the way. Was because I read through your thing. I know there's the one claim that you doxed people. I will say I have never believed that, so I want to get that out of the because I think that's probably the most damning one.
Okay.
And I've never believed that. I've never had anyone show me any evidence that you doxed anybody. Like if somebody wants to show me that, sure, but for VTubers, I think, or just any internet personality, doxing is a pretty steep thing.
Right.
So that was the one I'm most concerned about, and I really don't believe it's true. So I don't want you to think like the reason.
Yeah, like the doxing claim is something that should be very easy to prove if it actually happened. Like you can still hide the doxed information of somebody that has been doxed while showing enough context that they have, or to enough context to confirm that they have indeed been doxed.
Reasons I dislike you are like those ones that are very blatantly false that people just kind of threw into the ether, and they're like, maybe somebody will
No.
believe that she did this. And I also don't believe you ever celebrated a trans shooter. I do agree that your stream was very ill-timed. Not necessarily your fault, but optics-wise, I do believe it was very ill-timed. But
I'm glad that up front Mizu had addressed the weakest arguments against her right away. I mean, it makes sense. You get that out of the way because you don't want to spend forever trying to push a weak argument, right? Right?
I don't believe there was any malice behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like with the charity thing, it's like I get those are very difficult to schedule, especially with other people's like, personal lives, and I'm sure in a perfect world you probably would have been able to like push it back maybe a little bit because, unfortunate events do happen. But I can see how people can be like, wow, this must have been just planned right at this very moment, because I honestly I didn't see anything about it until a bunch of people were pointing it out, like, wow, look at what Marina's doing, and I'm like, yikes.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's like I only hear things from the circle.
Okay, so one thing that before we go too far, I would like to say that I know who this is. I've talked with them before. I'm in a group chat with them currently, and we talked about the previous VTuber agency drama. I am also vaguely, or that is Luminous Cove, talking with Marina, as well as Mizuhana. I don't know who this is. This is a person I've never heard of before. If anybody remembers, I I don't know if Lumi watches my content or not, but like, if you can hit me up and let me know who that is, I'll link him as well. But I'll be linking these people in the description when the video comes out.
Of people that I'm a part of, because VTuber sphere is many different little circles, so it's like you can hear one
Yeah.
part of one thing but not the other side.
Yeah, and I will
Okay.
say, I'm not saying you should interact with anybody who believes that you were celebrating it. And I'm not necessarily. I am saying though that you probably shouldn't look as negatively on them, because I always think about how after 9/11 happened, tons of just random kids cartoons got shelved because they included two towers somewhere in the animation, even if it wasn't like two.
Like, this point right here is really sus to me, like, immediately. He's comparing a mass shooting to 9/11. I mean, personally, I joke about both. I'm not a perfect person. But that this argument is kind of implying that Marina is a bad person because of, or like, not, this argument isn't directly, like, Mizu is not directly making this argument. They're saying that this is how some people have said it, but it's essentially the argument that Marina should have removed the stuff from the charity stream that was related to the tragedy, which you can't do in this situation because it was a sensationalized tragedy with a transgender shooter right before a pre-planned event to promote Trans Lifeline charity, a charity I myself have also done charity stream for. Just one. I mean, at the time, it was basically right after the anniversary of 9/11, but still, I was a mod during the day. We had to ban the word Nashville. Oh, goody. I'm not surprised. People are looking for any reason to hate trans people.
Big skyscrapers like in 9/11. If it was just two random buildings, the whole thing got
Also,
shelved
yeah,
because they were.
To back up Mizu's point here, the movie Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, the first one, that actually had the World Trade Center in the poster, but then they removed it because 9/11 happened like right then, and they were like, hey, that's kind of bad, let's take it out.
Were concerned people would look on it negatively. So people are dumb. People look at, like, connect things together that have nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think it's their problem. I think they're just a little stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
People are a lot of stupid.
I guess if we want to start, and I apologize for popping in late. Also, I just want to say I apologize for popping as a surprise. I want to reiterate that I didn't come in to intimidate. I didn't come in for anything like that to make anyone feel uncomfortable. I legitimately came in to answer any questions. And I want to make sure that everyone knows that and, feels very comfortable just being able to be honest, in a debate setting or whatever it might be, to express your opinion, and that I'm happy to hear anything that people feel. I apologize. My throat has been super fucked lately, and I'm trying to mute when I clear my throat or cough or things like that. So apologies for that.
No, you're good. I can deal with it.
I can relate, Marina.
As far as my first question is kind of like the structure of what you've been doing. Have you been going through point by point?
We were about to do that.
Yeah. Okay. We just got to your post before we were talking about the whole Accio air thing and that mess.
You were the main attraction tonight. That's not necessarily.
Yeah, little bit of behind the curtain stuff. I've talked with Lumi a little bit regarding the Accio air stuff. That's why we're in a group chat together. I have a pretty good impression of Lumi. Overall, I like her. She's pretty pog. Mizu, on the other hand, I don't know. And then this is a person we can't make any judgments on because we don't know anything about them.
Necessarily because of like the scale of it. It's
No,
mostly
yeah,
because of
yeah.
your post is so excessively large.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Akio Air, we can cover all of their drama from like the last 2 weeks in about 10 minutes if we just read it. Because they
Yeah,
did such
yeah.
short posts. You literally wrote. By the way, somebody clarified this to me. Twitter
Mhm.
Blue does have a character cap, and it's 10,000 characters. You are 300 characters from hitting the character cap.
Gotta be thorough as fuck, right? Especially when debunking false allegations.
Oh my god.
You have 9,707 characters.
Okay. Yeah, and yeah, again, there were no weird ulterior motives there to be like too long so people didn't read it or whatever. It was just simply to be very thorough.
Mhm.
Being thorough was important to me, and I find personally that when people do Google Docs, a lot of the media can get really like media gets scaled weird. It's hard to see. It gets really low res, and I find that also it's hard to read on mobile. So I figured that by doing it on Twitter, it would be easier to read for everybody who wants to read it.
Beat up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pain in the ass to read on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, apologies for any strain or anything I caused with reading it.
That
I'm happy.
Like, I agree. That's why I'm so glad that Marina actually went live to talk about it. Because like, as this stuff was developing from, I'm going to cover a hit piece against Marina, to Marina made a statement about all these accusations, to Marina went live to talk about these, to Marina Marina talked with detractors, at least one detractor, about what happened. And it's like, god damn, this is getting better and better.
To talk about anything that you've already chatted through, in the beginning section before you get into like the I think 8 points that I go over.
The main thing that we were we were already talking about
was,
the
we feel like you blame Melia a lot, and because I've seen multiple posts from you.
Reminder, in that thread that we went over earlier, it only mentioned Melia in the beginning.
You blamed Melia multiple times. And I have talked before that I agree that Melia is kind of cringe, and Melia can be a lot extra when they don't like somebody. However,
I know I'm a cute beep. You're a cute bun.
they're literally like a 1K Twitter account that I know even half the people that follow me have them blocked. So the idea that Melia is kind of the one spearheading the campaign against you, even if they're trying and they're taking credit for it, nobody's listening to them. I feel like it's a bunch of individuals that just genuinely don't like you.
Thing is, it doesn't have to be like a super big, it doesn't have to be like a comparable account to call somebody out. Reminder, Marina is 4 times smaller than Taiga, but she successfully fully canceled him by pointing out that he made a disgusting joke. Oh no, poor Melia, who was constantly harassing Marina. Yeah. And I don't think it was just Marina either. I think it's a handful of people.
yeah.
Right, which is fair.
Work.
I guess in this portion where I talked about Malia, it was really just to talk about the beginning of it. I didn't talk about the boost that came from Haru or the boost that came from
Taiga himself.
Taiga, or the boost that came from. There were a few other ones that got like a couple thousands of likes and things that came from kind of bigger tweets. So no, I'm not trying to pin everything there, but I thought it was important to make that distinction about Melia, just because Melia has, in my opinion, people don't have to agree with me, but in my opinion, has crossed into harassment and stalking of me in the excessive tweeting about me, and in the number of times that they actively tell their community to block me or unfollow me or tell me XYZ, or things like that. Those things that have happened.
Wait, so they actually go to...
Personally, I think it's okay to tell others that you should block or unfollow creators that you don't like, that are putting out stuff that you think is harmful or not very good. Personally, I don't care who you watch. I have my own opinion about different creators. My viewers have their own opinions about creators. Watch what you want to watch. Well, what was I going to say? It might not be that Melia has a massive audience, but it could be that certain people. Melia even went on to Marina's Twitch chat to harass her? Really? Because I know in this conversation, Melia was in one of the chats. Actually, I think it was Lumi's chat. But I believe Melia was actually watching this live as well.
People, like, do they message people or do they?
But like, Melia was in previously, I imagine. So it's been like a repeated history.
Say, hey, unfollow this person, or is that what they? What do they do then?
I recommend doing a deep dive of Melia's Twitter and taking a look because, yes, I'm not the only person. There are several other VTubers who have experienced that. It's pretty regular for them. I mean, hold on, let me grab.
Not this specific stream, but it was part of what caused her to make this statement. Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know this Melia person either. I feel like I'm going to be the bystander. Like, I am the random viewer that literally knows nobody here. So I know nothing about this here.
Let me give you a couple examples. These ones actually aren't of me.
Yeah, it's like I know Mizu was grilling Melia a bit about their excessive posting and
that I am willing to give Melia like an extra chance. However, I've told them multiple times before that I think they need to chill, basically. That them adding people that they don't like isn't helping their case. Like, there's lots of larger VTubers I don't like, and sometimes I will talk about them when they're in the news because obviously it gets you a little bit of clout. But I'm not running around like, did you know this dickhead is the worst person in the world and you should all unfollow them? And here's like a 20-page twit longer about why I don't like them.
Here's the funny thing. I've actually done that myself. I've added a large VTuber directly in a direct clout shark because it was funny to me. And the reason it was funny was because you guys know of a small little channel called Rev Says Desu. In one of his videos where he was responding to like VTuber hot takes, I actually was shown in that video. So I made my own video reacting to just specifically his response to my tweet. And then I made that video, or I made that statement on my stream, and then I posted that that video to YouTube, and then I took that link and went to Twitter and tagged Rev Says Desu with while saying something along the lines of, hey, thanks for shouting or highlighting me in your latest video. Seems we disagree. I would love to talk to you. I think it would be very productive, that kind of thing. But I have also made statements where I don't think he's the most intelligent person. I also don't think he's really open to, directly engaging with people that detract from him. I've made multiple videos on him, but I haven't directly attacked anything about him. I've attacked the stuff he's advocated for and the stuff he said, but nothing about him specifically as an individual, I guess.
Yeah.
No, you can't do that.
So
yeah. Someone in my chat says there's a full documentation of their actions over the past year and try to drop a link, but Cuppy, you can just DM me directly the link and I can drop it in this group chat for them to look at later. I don't think we're gonna take the time to look through a whole document or anything like that, but I dropped a couple sorry, I dropped a couple tweets for you to show you, like, these are directed at another account, VTuber Blacklist. They're not even directed at me, but it's just kind of shows you like the idea of what they do. They will make multiple tweets about people. They will remind people to report multiple times, which is something actually that it seems like they accuse other people of, right? They've accused me of going out of my way to like get my community to report them, and I actually have never done that. I have never, made a tweet where I tell everyone to go report Melia or post in my Discord community for everyone to go report. Like, I've never done that. I think they have this skewed concept that I am somehow controlling all these people and influencing them, and yeah, I don't know. It's just not something that I've done. But
I will say two things about that. The first is I feel the VTuber blacklist thing is kind of low-hanging fruit, because if you go to that page, they do mention Melia constantly, and every time they do, they're like, well-known pedophile Melia. Like, yeah, I would probably be kind of pissed off at that too. Like, I can 100% agree with Melia being mad at that.
Maybe I should go through, like, Melia's blacklist. Not this video, but maybe in the future.
Yeah.
And the other one was... No, you can continue with what you're doing. My mind just wandered. I'll have to get back to that. But yeah, I think the blacklist is very low-hanging fruit.
That was just one of the...
So I personally don't think the blacklist is low-hanging fruit. I think it's decent enough. Like, Epic Mind is on the VTuber blacklist for good reason. Though there are people that do mischaracterize accusations over time. It happens with everybody, not just the people blacklisted, but having like actual things to point to that this is, literally the behavior they did. These are literally what they said. Having that to point to of this is the kind of character they have. If they change that character and don't act like that anymore, I got no problem with them. Just do better, people.
That was just one of the like most recent examples that I was able to provide. If there was more time to prep and go through and stuff like that, I'm sure I could find more.
I don't know about the sexual harassment from Melia. I know about some bigotry. The targeted harassment has been discussed about Marina. Long list of other things I don't know. The racism, yeah, that one was really bad. I think I've heard that she apologized for it, but like, it's still extremely yikes that they thought it was okay to essentially do blackface VTubing and defend it by saying, if people are going to call me shit, I might as well be shit colored. And then that's why people called her a racist. Shocking, right?
But yeah, that's why I grabbed that one so quickly, because you can look at the dates; they're very recent.
No, I think we're in agreement that Melia's extra and probably needs to tone it down at minimum.
Probably. Oh, okay.
That is putting it so lightly, Mizu.
So, apologies, Mizu. If I may. So, you have never done anything like this. You've never said, go report this account or go to either in public or private.
No.
No. Okay. So, this is very one-sided. This person is directly harassing me. This person is directly doing things that I myself would never do. So, you would...
Okay, yeah, that also should be considered in a description of harassment. It should be one-sided. If it's going both ways, it's just slap for slap, not that big of a deal to me. If it's just one person going after another, that's harassment.
You would agree with the statement that you've never outright called for harassment on Melia, or just in general on anybody?
Not that I can ever think of or recall. Harassment on anybody, definitely not. Have I ever mentioned that someone can report things or things like that? I'm sure I have. But yeah, I don't know. In that respect, I don't go out of my way to make multiple posts about people or things like that, if that's the question.
Okay.
Do you mind if I counterpoint that?
That is a pretty good habit to have as a creator. You shouldn't be making multiple posts about people. I say, as a VTuber that has made multiple videos about the same people sometimes. Though, to be fair, the videos that I've made regarding like Rev or Cringy or Kirsch now, they're not there to attack them for no reason. they're there because they made some public takes. I reacted to them live and disagreed. I don't pre-watch my shit, but I did watch this because, as you've seen, as you might have caught in chat here, in Marina's chat, you can see me pop it up on occasion. Oh my god, I had so many things to say throughout this thing, but, like, I had to refrain. Mostly because, A, it's hard to keep up with the points as you're typing out text, and B, there's a lot of nuance that gets lost a lot of time. It's just hard to keep it all up.
With something.
Sure.
So I kind of believe in the idea that most of us in the VTuber sphere are adults to some degree because we kind of need the money to like front it.
Yeah.
So we all kind of have like the same adult thinking. I disagree with the idea that I didn't say go harass them, so I didn't send harassment their way. Because it's like a really coy thing I feel people do. When you retweet somebody and you're like, by the way, this person's a scumbag and they're harassing me, that's really basically asking your followers to treat them the same way.
Let's not forget that's what Twitter is for. It's for dunking on people and arguing with people. It's like it's there for fighting, essentially. And if you think otherwise on Twitter, you're kind of not really seeing the forest for the trees. That's like the majority of engagement that goes on in Twitter. It's arguing with people. There are, I will admit, there are a lot of people that don't engage with that stuff. But then there's also people that the majority of creators actually do engage with that kind of back and forth on Twitter. Not all super aggressively, but a lot of people do kind of use it for more than just promoting their platforms. Because, hot take, promoting your platform on Twitter does next to nothing. And by hot, I mean cold take.
Whether we intend it that way or not, we have to understand that that's kind of what we're setting up to happen. Like, you think of someone as big as Dream. Dream can't reply to somebody on Twitter and say, I disagree with you, without his fans coming down on them.
Sure, that's reasonable.
So, like, I feel when we go, this person is X-ist, or...
Yeah, again, it draws or ties back to what I've mentioned earlier in this video about how creators just passively weaponize their audience because you disagree with people or you disagree with another creator publicly, and then your audience sees that disagreement and then your audience starts to disagree as well. It's just the fact of the matter of being a public figure and having people like you.
Or this person is massive scumbag, we are directly telling our followers this person is free reign to treat like crap.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I guess question for you is, in the situation where I do feel legitimately harassed. I have had other people agree that what is happening is harassment. In your opinion, is it just something I should never express publicly?
I am kind of
because it may result in like people saying things to them.
So I am kind of the opinion that online largely is not harassment. And I think a lot of people misunderstand this is because this has actually been tried in courts before. Unless there is some real life component, most courts won't consider it harassment either. They need to actually have some effect on your real life. Like they're sending people.
I have a counter to this. So there's actually been a court case where in Japan where a VTuber was harassed on a public platform and a judgment ruled in favor of that VTuber in a defamation case. Oh wait, no, I don't want the Otaku magazine link. Where's the source? Give me the source. Fine, fuck you. VTuber court case. Oh wow, there's more? Of course there is. Oh, this is a different article than the one I was reading. Is it? Or is... Oh, wow. More than 10,000 critical messages. It's not the article I was talking about. But, like, okay. So there's more... there's more cases ruling on VTubers than I thought. Women claim that the defamation of her avatar character also hurt her reputation. Internet service provider argued the original post did not defame the woman because she and the character are different beings. Okay, yeah, this is the same court case, or it's just the same defense by an internet service provider. The court ruled some of the bullying claims posted online were untrue and damaged the character's reputation. Oh, god damn it, you're not actually going into this. Was this the article? This looks like it. Yes. Okay, so on August 31st of 2022, a Japanese court, the Osaka District Court with the presiding judge Masatoshi Ishimaru came down with the verdict that the internet provider was to release the name of the anonymous poster who had defamed a VTuber who remained anonymous. Let's go over this a little quick, okay? Yeah. Okay, presiding judge Masatoshi Ishimaru said a woman who posts videos on the internet is, as a virtual YouTuber, quote, acts wearing an image of an avatar as if it was a costume, unquote. Therefore, the libelous statements made against her computer-generated alter ego also libeled the woman, Ishimaru concluded. The woman posts videos as a virtual YouTuber, or VTuber, but keeps her real name and face hidden from the public. Her Twitter account is popular, boasting more than 1 million followers. According to the ruling, an anonymous person posted disparaging messages on May 2021 on a free online forum created to talk about the woman. Those messages included, "She can't be helped because she is an idiot," and "She is mentally immature because she doesn't have a mother." Now, personally, I don't think those are that bad, but I mean, that was enough to get them to lose a court case. Let's get to the important part. The internet provider argued that the messages may be aimed at an avatar, but not at the woman. And the judge responded, even if the insult was directed at an avatar on the surface, it can be recognized it was directed at a person who works as an avatar. So it was the woman who was defamed. The Tokyo court made a similar decision in March this year of 2022 in a defamation case involving a different virtual YouTuber. Now, Asahi is, from what it looks like, a pretty big news outlet that comes from Japan. So, like, that translates stuff for us. And what this is telling me, you can't get away with defaming a YouTuber because you're attacking a character, or a VTuber because you're attacking a character. You're still attacking a person. Damn it!
People to your house, they're sending pizzas to your house, crap like that.
Right,
Online,
okay.
you can really just block them. And yeah, they're gonna crap talk you to other people.
Oh, right. That actually wasn't even the point of what Mizu was saying. Let me back up just a little tiny bit.
I do feel legitimately harassed. I have had other people agree that what is happening is harassment. In your opinion, is it just something I should never express publicly?
I am kind of
because it may result in, like, people saying things to them.
So I am kind of the opinion that online largely is not harassment. And I think a lot of people misunderstand this is because this has actually been tried in courts before. Unless there is some real life component, most courts won't consider it harassment either. They need to actually have some effect on your real life. Like they're sending people to your house, they're sending pizzas to your house, crap like that. Online, you can really just block them. And yeah, they're going to crap talk you to other people. but people do that in general. You can't really regulate that.
Okay. I have a question.
Okay, so like, unless these people are actively going after you IRL, it's not harassment? Uh-huh. Well, it's a good thing we did go over that article. Hey, howdy, Captain Price.
If somebody is okay, when it comes to harassment, whether it's just
Right,
mentioned
Lola?
or stuff like that, why do you care? Not to say that you shouldn't, but I want to kind of establish baseline. Why do you care? If it's just words on the internet.
Like, why would I, are you talking to me personally? Like, why would I ever care
Yes. Why do you care
if I felt that
about
someone was harassing me?
Yeah. Well,
Why? Indeed, why would you care if somebody is trying to spread lies about you? Why would a public figure that relies on a public brand of themselves care that people are spreading lies? I don't know.
well, just like in general on the internet, because like I feel like the issue is, people have made fun of my voice when I do TikTok streams and all that stuff, and I feel like
They have a lovely voice. The people detracting from their voice are rude.
by bringing it up, bringing attention to it, you bring fans to the flank, because like there's a lot of people that would just end up forgetting other people. If like there's a lot of people that end up forgetting, oh, you've got the funny voice. If I just don't bring it up, or if I just make fun of it, or if I just like throw it around, there's a lot of times where I feel like if people didn't bring attention to the harassment that they're getting, that the harassment would just either not continue or it wouldn't be as big of a deal. Because there are many times where
it can also be said that if you just ignore it, keep blocking, they feel like they win. And I think that's a pretty dumb one. They're just trying to get any kind of W out of people.
at least that I can think of, how even with swatting, like if somebody swats you, don't tell the internet, because if the internet knows I just got swatted, you know exactly how to attack them as a person. So you don't bring it up. You never talk about it. Maybe you will again, but don't talk about it. Don't bring it up. So
yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, because to be honest, that's a really good point. If you do actually get swatted or whatever, you don't actually say that. You don't actually confirm that they actually did that to you. It's pretty dumb to do, because now they know they can just keep doing it and it's affecting you. Because if you never actually address it, or never actually say that you've been swatted, actually, they might not know if they actually have your address 100%. Some cases they might, or in some cases, I wouldn't be surprised if there have been cases, like obviously I can't just pull something up, but I wouldn't be surprised if there have been cases where some doxers or whatever sent pizza to somebody's house, but then since the streamer or whatever never mentioned getting pizza, they think they have the wrong address. So like that's kind of why you don't address it. So you don't confirm that they actually have your information. It's kind of protect yourself kind of thing.
Completely with the sentiment. With what you're saying, I actually am in full agreement. I am someone who says this to people too, because I have a large Treens community, and I know I have a lot of Treens people who get a lot of hate comments and things like that are said to them, and I always tell them like the best thing you can do is just ignore it, and I do agree with that. I think that there are times when it becomes hard to ignore, and I think that's the differentiation to make, is like, what is that line, or what is it to somebody? For example, I think that is why a lot of it just results in me blocking somebody or hiding replies or doing whatever, because ultimately I don't want to engage in harassment and things like that. And this, I think, is this is the second time I have ever tweeted about Melia. The first being when, after they had already been harassing me, they had gotten suspended, and I made a post, about the characterization that I celebrated their suspension is accurate. I was happy to see them gone, because in my opinion, I genuinely believe that they are not a good presence in this community. I think they are hateful. I think they cause more harm than good. That's just my opinion. And that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people actually like that shouldn't be a part of the VTuber scene, but we can't really gatekeep who is and who isn't a VTuber based on whether or not you like somebody. To me, you're a VTuber if you use a animated avatar over your actual or in place of a camera, so you actually get some kind of live thing, whether or not you actually do video essays. Because like, if you do video essays, you could do like fully animated stuff, but that would take way longer. If you want to have like an animated anime girl, a VTuber works so much better.
That was what I was expressing there.
I think that there's definitely two sides to this. One, Melia needs to chill on
True.
the posting, on like telling people to, hey, block this person, hey, block this person, this, and this. But I know you don't go out of your way to post about them, but some people who are loyal fans can take one or two posts and be like, okay, Marina isn't going to post about this a ton, so I will make it my duty to do it for her. So
Really? Were there people in Marina's audience, like prominent members of Marina's community, that were broadly going deplatform Melia? Because like, that would be interesting to know. That would be pretty relevant, wouldn't it?
oh, it's like, it's one of those, like, you know, you can't control your fans, but they will do things on your behalf. So I can kind of see how a larger audience can make it kind of seem like it's targeted harassment when you're not directly doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, again, it's like a passive thing that creators don't always directly do themselves. But if you look back at the Gamergate era, there used to be people that did that directly themselves. Like hundreds of thousands of sub count at YouTube channels would go after like 1,000 sub channels, 10,000 sub channels, like way smaller creators, and just send their audiences to brigade them and just outright attack them, bully them off the platform completely. So glad we're out of the Gamergate era, but oh, it's been lurking around, and it's been, honestly, I see it coming back quite a bit in the VTuber spheres, because a lot of VTubers don't actively push back against the right. They'd rather just be their comfy escapist Oshi for people. That's what they want to be. And I don't blame them for wanting to be that, but from what I see, that drives me to do the type of content that I do.
So I know Melia.
It sure would be nice if they could cite any instance of that happening. Yeah, I know, right? That's like a running theme. Funny.
For a bit was trying to go on a no drama talk, no mentioning anybody stint. I don't know exactly what happened to that, but Melia, if you're still in my chat,
quieter.
You know, I'm not trying to blame you. I'm not trying to say you're wrong, you're this, you're that.
Oh,
you need to. I agree. You should kind of chill out a bit, because honestly, seeing when most of your posts on my timeline are block this person, block this, or a lot of drama posts, I have your account muted. That's why on the replies on the glitch energy thing, it says reply from an account you have muted.
But yeah, no, I think we can all agree on the Melia thing. I don't, at least nobody in here, I'm not saying other people haven't said it to you. Nobody in here is necessarily like, you have to like Melia. How could you not like them? What have they ever done to you? No, we know who've done to you, and we kind of agree, like, they need to not.
Yeah. Yeah, we kind of know what's been going on between Melia and Marina, especially what's been discussed thus far.
At the same time, though, my opinion is I feel like you're very willing to fire back and not really consider like what your fans are going to do when you do it.
2 tweets is more than willing to fire back and weaponize her audience, huh? Are you coming in here with pre-existing biases, Mizu? Curious.
Okay. Do you acknowledge or understand that this is the second time I have ever posted Melia's name?
I will acknowledge that it is the second time that is currently available, with the first time being, haha, I got them suspended.
I don't remember if they even showed that tweet of Marina celebrating the suspension of Melia, but I thought it was like, this is a good thing that happened rather than I'm taking credit for doing this. That's just what I think.
Yeah, so if I just, let me...
Yeah, it's like I
Just
know
for-
before this, I did look on your account to see if there was any excessive Melia mentioning, and I didn't see really anything. So
for ease,
I can't back
yeah,
that.
for ease of looking, the first thing is a screenshot just of the search bar, like searching anything from me that even mentions Melia.
Mhm.
You know what? Let me...
No, I mean, we've searched it. I'm just saying, like...
Okay, yeah, if I type Melia the maid,
it,
nothing else comes up either.
Mhm.
I guess what I'm trying to get at with what I said is,
Yeah.
yes, you've only talked about them a couple times, but both times has been in the absolute most extreme ways possible. And I feel like that's...
Okay.
The most extreme ways possible. I disagree with that characterization.
something you kind of skim over. Like, you stick with the number of times. Like, there's people I've talked about a number of times, but I've only talked about them positively or neutrally. So
Yeah.
they could be like, well, Mizu's talked about me 30 times. And I could be like, yeah, well, every time was nice. Well,
He does have a point there. But I need to go to the bathroom again. God damn it! Why is it like extra bad today? Normally I can hold the bladder a lot longer.
Melly will be like, well, Marina's talked about me. And you're like, well, it's only been twice. And both times have just been awful.
I understand exactly what you're saying.
It's a balance between the quality and the quantity. Sure, you can have 30 saying good person, and then there's 2 saying bad person. Or there could be 15 saying good person and 15 saying bad person. It feels like such a bad faith argument to me.
I guess my question is, so not even looking at the first time, right? Because the first time was after Melia was suspended, and it was basically the only reason why I even did it or mentioned was because at that point Melia wasn't on the platform, so I knew that there was no way anyone was going to be going out of their way to harass them at that point because they just weren't on the platform. I have never wanted to send people to harass people. I've never been a like my personal army type person.
I would like to say that, for the record, I don't personally care if my audience argues with people online. That's fine. You can do that. It's okay. I'm not going to directly tell people, hey, go give this person shit. Because, like, I'm not going to actively weaponize my audience. But I'm okay with passively weaponizing my audience against people I disagree with. Because I like to think I make my understanding clear of why I'm disagreeing with a person or why I dislike them. If anybody would like clarification on certain things, ask me. I'm open.
I appreciate support, but I always tell people, and you know, I can drop things to back it up, that I tell people, don't harass people, don't bully people, don't do things like that. When it came to this scenario, I mean, could I have made this post and not mentioned Melia? Yes, but I thought it was very relevant to the transparency of explaining how this situation even started.
Yeah.
Because I do firmly believe that if Melia had never made their original post, that nothing would have ever snowballed the way that it did. I can't prove that, and nobody can prove that, right?
Mhm.
But it's just
I will
it's
actually say that's cap.
yeah.
Because I called cap on Melia when he tried to say that.
Okay, so from my understanding, Melia didn't start the harassment. Melia. It just seems like it picked up when Melia made the tweet. Because while Melia might only have like 1,000 followers, they could still have connections to bigger creators that we don't potentially know. Like, hell, even at my size, I've got some connection to bigger creators. Like I'm not constantly in some people's DMs about stuff, but I've had bigger creators on. I've talked with them. Talked with them on stream. I've talked with some off stream. Most of them, I don't actually tell my chat that I've talked with them. Most of them, it's just I'm talking with them behind the scenes because I think they're cool. Actually, the only big, I would say, somewhat big, Vtuber creator that's actually platformed me or been on my platform was Surus. We had a great conversation a while back. But even then, I don't think I've actually DM'd him since that conversation. Cause like there's that worry. You don't want to come across as like some kind of clout shark, but like I like the dude. I do want to talk with him. I don't know what I would really talk with him about. I also don't want to get into people's way. They're probably busy with life. A lot of people are super duper busy, and I just don't want to detract from that. And that's actually a personal thing that people need to get over. It's okay. Remember, it's okay to say hi to people, to have small talk with people. It's not wrong to do that.
So okay, feel free to explain.
Well, because if you look at it, Melia was not only not the first one to say anything, it was taking off well before him with other people talking about it. So I genuinely, I don't believe there's any reason you could say Melia started it when other people started it and they were getting way more attention than Melia ever got. You'd have to like come up with this weird reason for why somebody posting after the fact is the one that convinced all the people before them to post. And I don't think you can come up with a good reason for that.
It very well could be just Marina's personal bias against what she's seen out of Melia. But again, there's no way to concretely prove this one way or another. Honestly, regarding Marina's cancellation, the Melia shit is really tangential. But I have a little bit of spoilerinos with this debate. I have watched the first half, and there is something that gives me hope about Melia. I will say that for now. I could very well be wrong, but I've got hope.
I would have to look through the timeline and see. Is it possible that anyone on the outskirts could have seen who, had their own opinions about me outside? Yeah, of course. And I don't think, even if that is the case, a couple individual people posting about it beforehand, I feel like if we trace the data, which I don't think you have or I don't have it on hand. The data points of looking at exactly when stuff started to roll, when the posts sped up or things like that. And I think like I would never have even said anything, to be completely honest with you, if it wasn't for the fact that Melia himself claimed ownership.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
Wait, did Melia claim ownership of this?
Yeah, they did it in chat. I called them out when they did it in chat.
Yeah, I saw that tweet.
Because that just sounds like you're trying to give like them credit because it's easy for you. Because like I said, a lot of people hate Melia. A lot of people have Melia blocked. We in chat are calling out Melia when there's.
Oh my god! Again, this whole Melia part is detracting from the rest of the actual cancellation regarding Marina. Like, hardly anything in her tweet had to do with Melia. It was the one paragraph has derailed this for, like, I don't even know how long we're already in. How long have we? Oh my god, really? We're at the 2 hour 6 mark. And, well, okay, for about 20 minutes.
Saying stuff, even though we're against you, we're also against Melia to a degree.
Still goes on, by the way.
So it feels like an easy out when they chime in and they say, "Oh, it's all my doing," and you're like, "Yep, it's that one, that person over there. Definitely, they already took credit for it. I can just pass blame on them and walk away."
I mean, it was brought. Oh my god! I realized I never sent this. I'm so sorry. I said I had sent something, and I never sent it. But just
you're good.
For clarity's sake,
I hate when I do that.
Talking about where I said I did a search and that was the only other instance that came up.
Yeah.
So the other, yeah, that's a screenshot right there, where they're saying that they were the one that started it. Now this isn't like a gotcha, they said it, so now it's not. It's like I will say that from my experience of
Hey, there I am making the same argument.
Living through this whole thing, because I don't want to discredit anybody else or anybody else's perception or research that they've done, but I don't know if anyone has quite had as extensive a view into this as me, and maybe also the representatives at Glitch. I don't know if any other person has been able to actually see how things rolled in and how things took off at the speed they did after certain people posted their own quote retweets and such. And in my...
Yeah, this Renetta Cyan, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. They make some really good points. They drop a lot of good points throughout this conversation when I was watching. And, like, this is exactly what's happening here. The responsibility to act reasonably falls on the trans person often. And, like, a lot of this is Marina having the responsibility pushed onto her because she's the bigger creator, and it just so happens that she's trans. Like, let's be real. Can anyone tell me a bigger openly transgender VTuber? Because I honestly don't know of one.
My perception, it really took off after Melia had posted. And again, you don't have to agree with me, I guess. That was my observation that I made. Do I have a full, like, scientific research set of data points for you right now to explain that? No, I don't. But I don't think anyone has anything to counter that. And I don't think
Yeah, this is a non-falsifiable point. We need to move on from it.
Made any statements like I had, research data to back that claim or something that I had made or anything like that.
Right. Oh, and also, Marina, Melia posted in my chat saying, "You can feel free to tell Marina that I'm done with it all. I just needed my fire back at the suspensions." Melia, I'm going to hold you to that.
I'm gonna be real. That doesn't really inspire too much confidence, like just that on its own, because, like, Melia's been going after Marina for quite a while, because after Melia got suspended, Marina tweeted out being glad that the person that's been harassing her got suspended. So Melia is done now because Melia took credit for canceling Marina now. So they're even? It honestly doesn't make sense to me. I'm confused.
Because I will, if you need me to keep you in check about your drama posting, I will. Because it's something that you need to do if you want to make content that's not all drama.
And I hope they do know, even if they believe me. Well, even if they believe or not, I hope they look into this idea that, like, do the research yourself. I didn't post about you. I've never directed people to go, like, I've never directed my community. I've never posted on Twitter for, like, people to go and do anything like that. Does that make sense? I can say from my knowledge that I'm in social spaces with other content creators, and I have seen a lot of other content creators talk about you a lot more than I have. They just may not have posted even once about you when I have posted twice about you now.
Yeah, like they're also just looking at Twitter specifically. There are let's keep in mind that while I'm currently watching a VOD on Twitch, this VOD isn't going to be up permanently. So there could be more than enough people that have shit talked Melia live on stream or in their videos, and we just haven't seen it. It just so happens that the biggest trans creator did a little bit or did 2 tweets against Melia. You know what? I will give them this little bit. Marina has only done 2 tweets shit talking Melia, even though I wouldn't properly call it shit talking from what I remember.
But it doesn't mean that there's not a lot of people out there who are very unhappy with the way that you conduct yourself and the things that you do. You know, that's it. At the end of the day, make the content you're gonna make and do what you're gonna do. I just think you shouldn't just cross into negativity with other people.
Yeah, like the people that get put on the VTuber blacklist are kind of there because of their own actions. Just saying.
And cross into like the shit starting and the call out posts and things like that. Like,
oh, so
frankly,
long
this
stream.
is just for every single content creator ever. It's the like,
we are 2 hours, 10 minutes, 11 minutes into this VOD. We're not watching the full VOD, but we are watching hella debate. Okay, so there's the break. I watched the debate live up until the first break she took.
stay in your lane with focusing on your content creation. And when you feel like something is really morally reprehensible, sure. If you really feel to your core that you need to speak out on something, I encourage people to speak out on something. But if you're speaking out on something for drama's sake, I don't know. Think about why you want to do that. Is it for numbers? Is it for engagement? Or is it because you feel like it really means something to you and your values?
For me, it's a little bit of both. I don't make content about people simply because I don't like them or whatever. I may look for reasons to go over content that I expect to disagree with, but like I'm not doing it exclusively for clout or content. Typically, I'm doing it because I want more people saying those talking points that I'm giving. And for me, I'll be honest, it's just easier for me to do React content. It's easy content-ish. It's easy to react to content. It's hard to properly transform content from what you are just watching and how you respond to it.
You know, that's a stance that I can respect, because I know the only reason I really started, looking at drama, because I wanted to avoid drama altogether. But then there was the Occo air thing. Then there was this dude who stole a whole person's character and other shit, and just yikes. Yeah. But, it's like...
I'm gonna be real, Lumi. You're going to find drama if you look for it, no matter what community you're in. I'm just personally wanting to focus on the VTuber communities, because let's face it, how many overtly leftist VTubers do we have? Sure, we have plenty of progressive leaning VTubers that hell might even talk about some stuff on stream, but do they have like videos that they can relate or direct people to about pushing this kind of stuff, like pushing leftist ideas? The majority of VTubers that like do video essays, you didn't put this in the description. I didn't put like anything in the description. It's a stream. There are some video essayists that I would definitely say are progressive leaning. They talk about broader issues, but I don't get the vibe that they're actively, you know, trying to push progressivism. They're just saying their own thing. Personally, I'm actively trying to push it. I'm actively trying to push progressive leftist talking points. That's just me, though. I personally just want to see more of that. I make the kind of content I want to see. That's how I think all creators should do that broadly.
Hearing your stance and actually being able to talk to you and stuff, it's like I'm happy to say that I have newfound respect for you, Marina, and just I know this.
Yeah, huge Giga Stacy energy. Just most people, they don't want to engage with their detractors directly. They obviously who does properly like it aside from some mentally well people like me.
This might be the only time that we ever actually talk, but I'm honestly just unblocking you on Twitter, and I just want to kind of stay on neutral grounds now.
I mean, absolutely. I'm happy. I think the biggest thing that happens with not even just me and you or any individual people, just like everyone, I think the biggest thing that happens is that people get swept up in jumping on things too soon, not ever actually looking into evidence, not ever actually looking into what's happening or what the background is or what someone has to say, right? Like how many times have you experienced, like we've all probably experienced this in our lifetimes, where something is said about us to a friend or something and someone just runs with it instead of ever coming to you and saying, hey, I heard this thing, can you talk to me about it, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's happened a lot with me and other people in this community. Like it happens all the time, you know?
Yeah.
I just want the chance to, like, I was happy to have the chance to talk today with.
And another point to add to that, it's not just this community that it happens with, like the VTuber scene. It happens with like all communities, all the broader creator communities. It's not just a VTuber specific thing. It's a broader problem with how we go about engaging with social media.
With anybody about anything, because I don't feel genuinely like I have anything to hide.
Yeah.
It really bothered me that there was this idea that I was not open to criticism, because I think there's a big distinction between wanting to like care about my mental health and block people that I felt were bad actors. Even if I made that decision hastily, for some people who may not deserve to be blocked, it was a better safe than sorry for me. I really just wanted to be able to hear anybody out. And if there's anybody here in the three of you that I have blocked, I'm happy to, unblock you, hear out what you have to say, and I just hope for the same in return.
Hydrate or die straight. I hear you, hero.
All right. Melia did post in my chat again saying, but like I said, I'll drop it all respect for talking about it, though. I've had a bias for too long and just thought of Marina as the enemy. We are all assholes at some point.
So I will say, like I said at this.
If that's a genuine statement from Melio, that's a good thing to hear out of them. Because, I mean, it could very well be that they're just the type of person that holds a grudge over something they're, like a narrative they're running with. You never really know. It's not like we can be mind readers.
I really feel like the Melia thing is not important. And I wasn't saying that so we'd spend so much time on it. I was really saying that because I honestly, out of this whole list, I think you could cut out the Melia part and it wouldn't change how I feel about it. The Melia part is just like where it starts, that it's like, okay, well, this is dumb. Why is this being brought up? It doesn't have anything to do with it.
Could I interject for a moment, if that's all right? So as somebody who is kind of like on the outside, like my first exposure is when I saw, when I was shared the, the announcement that you are getting sponsored by this brand. And the thing that I was told is that you are getting a lot of hate and maybe it's deserved and all that stuff. And when I asked why, the thing that I basically heard is you tell everybody that disagrees with you that they are transphobic or that they're just against your identity and all that stuff. And is that true?
Which I don't think.
You don't think that?
Not at all. Okay. No, not at all.
Okay.
Not in the slightest sense.
Okay. Why would people think that?
Why would people think that?
Yes.
Because I have said things like I'm getting a lot of transphobes. I have talked about a lot of trolls and things like that. And I think this is the thing that happens. I may get 100 responses, right? On something. I'm just throwing a random number out there. I'm not saying like it's literally 100, but like there's 100 responses on something. It might be the case that, and let's say 100 negative, just 100 disagree responses, whatever. 50 of those might literally just be like KYS or, what's asterisk he, like misgendering, things like that. Like a lot of it's just like just straight up hate, not even an argument, not even anything. It's literally just meant to be hateful. And then there's probably about another like 30% where I'm getting something of like, you did this terrible stuff, and then also something hateful, or I misgendered in that like pseudo argument. And then it's like the rest of it is mostly people just, they're not necessarily hateful, but they're saying things that just aren't true. They have no evidence for, right? Calling me a harasser, calling me a doxer, things like that. Again, with no evidence or anything linked to that. And then there's always a couple where there might be something that, I mean, they see as evidence, but I think that becomes where this document really starts to debate later on is any of this even actually evidence?
Right.
And I pull that up, right? Like I pull the screenshot that was being shared around and stuff like that. So for me, this idea that I don't actually take criticism or I just write everything off as transphobia, no, I think I call attention to all of the hate that I do get. That doesn't mean that I don't get criticism. Like does that make sense? Like that doesn't dismiss any valid criticism as transphobia if I happen to make posts about the overwhelming amount of transphobia experience.
So
Right.
I would say, because this is something I think a lot of people
Oh, God
miss,
damn it. Pause it.
is
Yeah.
My thinking is that essentially with the way she's been responding, where like I don't think she's actually getting legitimate criticisms, so it's a lot of it's not worth addressing per se, but when it's coming in as a overwhelming flood of people repeating the same allegations over and over and over without actually substantiating that stuff, or when people do attempt to substantiate, they use like a couple out of context tweets and then just try and reach with that. And then with Marina going around and just, I have mentioned this earlier in the video, but Marina just blocking them and saying, I'm dealing with harassment, I'm dealing with transphobia. People will just, like her detractors that don't actually in good faith care what she actually says, they're just going to run with that Marina's playing defense, she's weaponizing her identity. No, what she's doing is literally pointing out the problem with what's going on, but then it's not really, from my view, it's like she doesn't what's it, it comes across, at least with Twitter, that you're always going to be missing context with Twitter, even with her even with her manifesto. I'm laughing because I almost said did I just say manifesto? Fuck, I'm trying not to say it, because like I would say that towards somebody I don't like that put out like a tweet longer. I have done that kind of before to somebody else that I don't like, but what I don't think that this is a manifesto out of Marina. But like, again, if you're not actually addressing the problems or the accusations, if they keep coming back, it's like you gotta have something to point to be like, hey, I've already addressed these like forever ago. Like Vosh has had to do that. He has multiple videos addressing these same controversies too, which is kind of funny in a way. Like the controversies have stuck with Vosh to the point where his audience memes on it as much as his haters. So like half the time you honestly can't tell if a Vosh meme is made by a fan or by a hater. Really, really funny. I'm hoping that more conversations like with more conversations like these, more good faith peeps could see the huge amount of hate and bigotry leveled against trans folk, and that's based off larger systemic attacks. Oh God, I really agree, Angel Tail. I wish so much.
Habitually only address the transphobia. And I know you've explained earlier that you just kind of block people because you try and curate your section, but you very habitually only ever address the transphobia. So very obviously people are going to say, well, all she does is call her critics transphobic. because you never address any critics. You'll block them, and you'll be like, all these transphobic people. So no one has any frame of reference for you talking to anyone that isn't a post that says you're just transphobic, you just don't like trans people or something like that.
Right. So here's where it gets tricky, because I have done that. But the thing is, I think it is, and I think we'd all agree, hopefully, that it's unrealistic to expect any one individual to respond to every single time a untrue claim is made, or, you know, the same, like, criticism is made, that you respond to each and every individual. So the thing is, I have responded to people. I've responded to numerous people, but it usually ends up the same way. And I have examples today where it's like, I had long, drawn-out back and forths with people, and they end in the same way. I am saying, this isn't evidence. Where's the evidence? Right? For example, I had someone today, and this is something I used to do, but I just don't do it anymore because it seems like it's such a waste to me a lot of the time. But I had said, where's the evidence for the claims you're making that you're saying I'm lying? Everything I say is lying. I'm happy to see evidence. And they say, well, you know that there's just a ton of evidence. And I say, give me evidence. Again, like, that's not evidence. So then they drop a paste bin. And the paste bin is a generalized paste bin. It's not about me. It's just about harassment during Hogwarts Legacy. And it's like literally dozens of links.
Literally, like what I said earlier, the people that are detractors from Marina, or the people trying to go after her for being like this big harasser, is because they're trying to attribute the harassment broadly from the Hogwarts Legacy discourse to Marina. They're trying to tie all of that to the individual that they don't like. It's, again, essentialist thinking, and it leads to very, 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 very bad places.
And what I said to them was, you have to show me evidence, right? And one of the things I said, I was like, you don't go into court and you drop a box of documents and you look at the jury and you say, the evidence is in there. It's up to you to find it, right? Like, they would never win an argument in court like that, right? Like, you can't do that. You have to come and you have to show the evidence and you have to say, here it is right here. And then we address it, right? And there was no evidence that was able to get dropped, or able to get dropped. That was, again, actual evidence of any harassment or anything that was being said to me. I can go over some of the stuff because it's interesting to look at. Someone dropped some screenshots to me.
See,
gosh,
I guess before we get into that, that's kind of where
Sure,
I would kind of call you out a little bit, or push back on you if you want to use that terminology instead.
Go for it. Yeah.
In that, I would agree that, yes, if you look through the Hogwarts Legacy harassment, there was never a time when you're like, go harass this person, they're a piece of crap, or something like that. However,
here's the attribution to Marina coming in.
However, there were numerous times where you would go to somebody that was saying they were getting harassed, and you'd be like, well, you know, trans people die on a daily basis, so you should just kind of get over it. Like, you're not that special. And you do that to a lot of people. I know for a fact you did that to me at one point, and eventually the tweet got deleted. But it was just something
like my
that you
tweet
were
got
kind of
deleted?
known for. Yes.
Because I have never deleted a tweet.
That's cap.
Show your receipts, Mizu. Where's your fucking reply to Marina?
I'm calling
You
cap.
never
I'm
delete
sorry.
tweets?
You have deleted tweets you have sent to me before.
Do you have any proof of that?
They're deleted.
Show the replies. It'll show the response with Marina being in the and the deleted tweet above it where it says this tweet has been deleted by the author, but it would still have Marina in the Show the receipts.
I'm not sitting here like trying to say like.
Well, when you reply to a tweet, you can see the post user deleted their tweet. So if you can find that original tweet, you could have the screenshot that would show it's responding to a deleted tweet.
Yeah, somewhere. Like, if you really want me to like sit down one day and look for it, I guess I can try.
Sure. No, I
literally, this is what was just said. You can't go to a court and drop a paste bin or drop a big box of evidence or a big box of files and say the evidence is in there, go find it. And this is literally what Mizu's doing right now.
I would appreciate that, because
at my Twitter, I literally tweet like 100 times a day.
You can also find specific tweets if you do happen to remember specific phrases or words that were in that tweet, or that were in that tweet. That's how I found the tweet from Jugmeat. about Keffels in the previous video I did this stream.
I
Even just
don't.
scrolling back a month is hundreds of thousands of tweets, not hundreds of thousands, it's thousands
So
of tweets.
I don't remember ever doing that.
You also might just be able to search for their profile. In fact, oh shit, this is why I don't use Twitter. Fuck it. Bye VOD. VOD is gone. Switching over. I'm not seeing any replies. I'm seeing Marina replying to Mizuhana. Like, I'm seeing a deleted tweet above and below Marina's. This I can actually show on YouTube. Like, Mizuhana's tweet calling out Marina. Marina replies to a deleted tweet. And then Marina replies to a tweet from an account that has been deleted. So, like, Mizu, show your receipts.
I would agree with you that that's a very disingenuous way of like making arguments or harassing people and then going to delete them or something like that. That's not something that I would ever want to do. It's not something that I can ever recall doing. I'm fully okay with owning if it ever happened, if I can see any proof.
Your Twitter link, your tweet longer.
Hi, Mom.
I'm sorry?
You included one in your Twitter, your tweet longer, whatever we want to call it, Twitter thread.
Yeah, so one where the person I was responding to deleted their tweet, and out of respect, I didn't name them or anything like that. Because
But
they had
the thing you sent to them was almost literally verbatim what I was quoting. I was reading that exact one. I have it up on my other screen.
Okay, so it really sounds to me that Mizu is trying to say that the tweet that Marina had talked about earlier was the deleted one sent to them, but that tweet wasn't the one that was deleted. It was replying to a deleted tweet. I'm not the only one getting bad faith vibes, right? Marina and other trans creators were interviewed about the hate and harassment received on the daily article published during Hogwarts Legacy. Yes, actually, yes. I covered that. I covered that on stream. Don't worry, don't worry. Oh, channel content. Videos. It was before the charity stream. Where was it? Where was it? Where was it? Unlike Curry Renji, I'm actually going to show you guys what I talked about. Except I'm doing this live, so you have to watch the scuff of me doing it. Fuck, where was it? Come on, I know I did. Yeah, there, Twitch and hate rates. That's where I actually went over that article about Hogwarts Legacy. Trans VTubers urge Twitch to shut down hate raids amid Hogwarts Legacy controversy. Right, I got the thumbnail from Praxi because she tweeted out that meme. But yeah, there was that article that came out during Hogwarts Legacy, and I covered it. And Marina was mentioned in that article. And another friend of mine, or a friend of mine, because I'm not friends with Marina. I would like to be. That would be pretty pog. But overall, with creators, I tend to see them as co-workers rather than friends. I do say friend of stream, but yes. What was I going to say? I had a friend in that article that had been doxxed and swatted. Shocker, during the Hogwarts Legacy thing. But like, she didn't make any statement about Hogwarts Legacy during that time. It just so happened that hate raiders and these fucking soy jackoffs just happened to start picking on trans people more than they did before this before Hogwarts Legacy came out. It's almost like they used Hogwarts Legacy discourse as a catalyst or cover for their hatred.
Oh, okay. So the one you're talking about, the one I included. Okay, yeah. So this was put out
And
there
that
as
one
harassment.
you very quickly dismissed as, well, you can't claim this as harassment. I was like, I would possibly agree with you that you can't claim that specifically as harassment. However, you also can't claim it's just this completely nice, friendly tweet.
Oh,
you even admit
yeah,
yourself
I
that
don't.
it was snarky. But
Yeah,
it's somewhere
100%.
This, oh my god, this feels so bad.
somewhere between snark and harassment, because that is just directly being inflammatory.
But it's not IRL. How is it harassment under your own definition, Mizu?
Or offensive to someone else.
Okay.
And you kind of shove
Okay.
it off to the side like ants, whatever.
Okay. I do think that at the end of the day, the definition of harassment in this case, people can treat it like it's something subjective. I don't know. I mean, personally, at the end of the day, I don't see that as harassment.
Well,
I have sanity checked
if we
with
go
people.
With the objective definition, Melia didn't harass you either. So we kind of have to.
Melia did. Melia did a targeted. It targeted Marina over and over and over in multiple threads, going after her specifically, trying to attack, berate, and demean, dehumanize her, that kind of stuff. That absolutely is harassment.
Make a line there, or can we be objective and Melia didn't harass you, they were just being a dickhead
Thank you so
on
much for the
Twitter?
raid.
Or can we be subjective and be like, you were kind of harassing people too?
I think
This is a false equivocation to me. Like, seriously, all of Melia's stuff was directly targeted towards Marina. Marina did 2 tweets towards Melia, and then did more so broad tweeting. I mean, I guess she did reply to people a fair bit regarding the Hogwarts Legacy stuff, but that's totally different than creating a brand new tweet or quote tweeting somebody. It goes and it's so different.
that's much more nuanced, and I think that we would have to do like a larger breakdown of the tweets and compare them and look at, what happened. And I think the difference is me expressing my disagreement
What was the definition that the interviewer gave, by the way? They didn't actually give one.
to someone, or me expressing, and sorry, I talked.
Or actually, they said a lot of people that claim harassment online, it isn't actually harassment because it doesn't translate to IRL, something like that. Kind of bad faith arguments, in my opinion.
Talked about this a bit earlier on my stream, but the main idea that I had said that my issue was people that had approached this as if they were victims in certain situations that I just disagreed with, and other people would disagree with me. And again, like, I think the key thing that I keep saying over and over to my community is, like, people are entitled to their opinions. Not everyone has to like me. Not everyone has to agree with me. That's fine. Like, some people can think that what I did was too much, right? But at the end of the day, it's like, it's opinions. And when people start throwing out like words that are accusations like harassment,
Yeah, especially if you want to compare different people, like some people that, if you want to compare harassment and then the stuff you're saying that Marina did is equivalent to what else has been done as harassment, like specifically during the Hogwarts Legacy stuff, it is magnitudes worse for not only the quantity but the quality of what people are actually saying. Like, the majority of people on the pro boycott side were saying, don't stream the game, it'll make you a bad person. The people that were pro boycott were saying, kill yourself, I'm playing the wizard game. Like, there's a chasm of difference between the boycotters and the non-boycotters in terms of the direct vitriolic engagement between the two sides.
I think there has to be actual clear things there, like somebody, you know, told other people to go do something to someone, or withhold, you know, withhold their support, or things like that. Like those are all ways of like directing harassment, in my opinion.
Personally, I don't think so. Like with that specifically, if you think somebody is actively harmful or putting out bad stuff, I think it's actually okay to be like, I don't think this person should be around. I don't think this person should do what they do. I think their content leads to actual negative outcomes and actual harm done to people. That kind of thing. If you genuinely think somebody's content is harmful, I'm okay with you telling people why you think that. I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with that.
And I don't know, if you disagree with me, you disagree with me. I think it's kind of one of those things that unfortunately is going to break down to that.
But
I do think I was
guess my point
snarky.
is-
I do wish that I could go back and have done it differently and have been, you know, not use the word copium in that tweet.
You were fine to use copium. I mean, you're fine. You're fine. Also, and to the people that do say Marina can't tolerate people that disagree with her, in this stream of hers, she acknowledged that I actually completely disagree with the boycott, and she said that's fine. As far as I'm aware, we're on good terms. I don't think she really knows me. I think she knows of me, but not terribly much. And to be fair, this is the most I know of Marina now.
I don't
But
even think
But also, like, I'm full on stan Marina these days. Biggest fan. You can't prove me wrong.
copium was necessarily the problem with the tweet.
okay,
Well, because here's the thing, right? When
Yeah.
the key point in the tweet, and I think a lot of people kind of skipped over this, was one of the things you said is you expressed interest and promoted something to your following that harms the trans community. When you
Okay.
immediately set up that someone is harming someone or doing something wrong, you are kind of sick. I guess I don't know what the word you'd use. You're basically telling your followers that this person is a bad person, and that sets up how your followers are going to interact with them. You
I
can't
think-
just
I
say
think-
like you are committing harm to someone else and then expect nobody to act on that.
Right. I think the term bad person is something it's complicated, because I think it's possible, just to give an example, I think it's possible for people to do something racist without being racist. Does that make sense? Like, I think there are times when people do something inadvertently.
Nods, that's criticism. Oh, I actually do have some criticism of Marina. I will levy it after I'm done going through this debate, and it has nothing to do with this. It's just a way of showing people how to do constructive criticism. But right now, we're going over all this unconstructive criticism of Marina.
They don't realize it's not intentional. It doesn't matter what their intentions were. They do something that might be harmful, but it doesn't mean that they're bad people. That's my
I'm saying that's
view.
what you tell your followers when you say this person is harming people. They don't have like this extreme nuanced list of the
Ma also remembers posting on Marina Sensei's Hogwarts Legacy threads about the problems with the Hogwarts Legacy boycott, but also responded to clear transphobic commentators there. Yeah, like, I'm pretty sure what I had said in Marina's chat that she had actually acknowledged was that I'm pretty sure I said I disagree with the boycott, but I'm here to fight transphobia. Meaning the underlying thing that we both agree on is that trans rights are human rights and they should be advocated for. We just disagree on the ways to advocate for it. But I mean, there's a diversity of tactics available.
levels of harm.
That's not up to me, though, whether or not they perceive something that way. In my opinion,
I believe once you have a following and you pitch yourself as a content creator, to some degree you are responsible for what your following does.
I don't.
No. I disagree, Mizu. here's the thing. You are not individually responsible, or you are not responsible for the actions of every single individual of your community. That said, the community you cultivate is a reflection of what you say, what you do with your content. The people that say, I'm not responsible for my community, are coping. They are huffing the copium. They are huffing all of the copium, not leaving it for the rest of us.
Your followers are not okay. My apologies, but you really don't have control over your audience. And
No, I'm not
will...
saying you have control over your audience. And I think Marina's already kind of, like me, given up this fight to a degree, because we put notices on a lot of our tweets or a lot of our videos, don't harass this person. So we've already established that we are well aware.
For the record, I am fully aware that I don't have, like, in my videos, like, I don't explicitly say, don't harass this person I'm about to talk to. Because, like, I would love to see if any prominent member of my community has actually engaged with direct harassment. Because if they are doing that, I will remove them from the community. But if they're just going off and criticizing the people that I criticize as well, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with people criticizing, hell, even in a bit of a mean way, being meaner than saying copium. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with vitriolic disagreements, as long as they're not coming from a place of bad faith. If you're actually criticizing their actual points, but you're doing it in a little bit of a mean way, I'm okay with that. That's a clear message that should have shown through during Hogwarts Legacy Month. Diversity of tactics in trans rights. Yeah, like I really wish we were a little more in line. Like, for how much they push the trans activists wants you in lockstep with, or force you to being in lockstep with them. We so disagree on so many things, and I really hate that that's the narrative going on. But the narrative that got heavily promoted was Twitter freaks, including trans folk, harassed pick-me. Yeah, that was the big thing, because, you know, reactionaries tend to like to label the people, like the minorities that they don't like, as freaks, as cockroaches. It's just kind of something that happens with people who have conservative views. It just seems to be a recurring trend to me. That said, I don't think everybody that I don't literally think everybody that says Twitter freaks is an outright transphobe. I think they're using transphobic language, whether or not they actually accept that or not.
Of the way our followers can be if we say something the wrong way. So it feels a little disingenuous to, on one hand, you have those notices sometimes, but on other hand, you're like, well, just because I said this doesn't mean my followers are going to do anything. You know they are. You put the notices on there for a reason.
Yeah, hot take, you put those notices out there to virtue signal that you don't want people to harass. You're kind of ignoring the fact that every creator passively weaponizes their audience. That's just my opinion.
So here's the thing. I think also, like, we have to acknowledge that the Twitter algorithm treats different tweets differently. And I mean that in the sense of me replying to someone else's tweet is not going to be treated the same as me making a brand new tweet where that is something directed at my followers. And in that situation, one, I would never just have seen someone else doing something and just tweet out, like, this person said this thing, and not involve them. You know what I mean? Like, it wouldn't even be a reply or something. Like, that is something that, in my opinion, is very hostile. When you make, like, tweets about other people, like, there better be good reason.
I'm okay with the hostility personally. I personally don't actually like the vague tweeting. I don't like that whatsoever. It's kind of annoying. It's like, the vague tweeting doesn't really address the problem. If there's, like, a legitimate problematic person, but then people are only vaguely saying this type of behavior is problematic, you're not going to reach the audience you want, or it's not going to reach the ears that should listen to it. They're just going to ignore you, or they might not even see it because Twitter's algorithm is like, yeah, we're not going to show 90% of people's tweets to their followers. Unless you're like, you got notifications on. Also, shout out to anybody that has my notifications on Twitter. Y'all are pog champs. Like, even if you go to the following tab on Twitter, it doesn't directly show you anything. It shows you the current stuff that's coming out. The For You page shows a lot of different people, like a bunch of them that you don't even follow, and then even tweets that go back as far as a day in the For You page. The Twitter algorithm is pretty shit.
For you to do that, right? Because I think that's a bit I think it's a bit more extreme. So in this situation, it was a reply.
God, I'm so sad that I had to unlist the video for now. This makes me so sad. Only people with link can see it now.
So I think that's why there was no disclaimer, because it's not meant to be a big tweet that's seen by a bunch of people. It's meant to just be a tweet that's on a reply thread. You know, that the people who are looking are already in. They have the context. They're in that thread. They can make decisions themselves about. You know, it's like people watching this debate. In my opinion, it's like people watching this debate and like seeing, I don't know, you disagree with me there and being like, I'm gonna go harass Marina because you disagreed with her. Like, I wouldn't expect that. I don't think, like it's something that exists within the context of our conversation we're having.
Right.
For you to say, like, that's cap, or that I'm doing something wrong, like, I don't take it that you're calling me a bad person that your community should go harass, right? Like, that's just our discussion. That's just part of our debate that I see here. And that's kind of how I felt in that situation.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if from this debate there are some people that, like me, said Mizu is acting in very bad faith, because that's what I see, or that's how it's coming across for me. Is that harassment? No, not really. I wouldn't say this is harassment, me saying that I think they're using bad faith tactics. I don't think that's harassment. It would be harassment if I started attacking them over whatever different things that are unrelated. I'm wondering how you could come up with a clever way to hide stuff and avoid probs. Mom remembers Zeka having a hide image or eye catch video, but hard to remember that. What? I am confused. What has Zeka done?
Didn't view it as my community was going to go harass them. And to be fair, I don't believe my community did go harass them or anything. We had a back and forth, and then they ultimately made decision to delete that tweet later. They never expressed that they felt I harassed them. We had a back and forth about some things. I tried to make my stance clear. The important thing to me is that that tweet was taken out of context, and I did provide the follow-up tweets and the reply tweets later on. I cannot reply or supply the tweets that they replied to in between. I'm sorry about that. They have deleted them. But I think you can kind of gather what their replies may have been about.
Wait, my problem with video was shown bad link. No, I'm sad for my stream right now, because to prove a point, I had Twitter up with while sharing the screen, and I searched for Mizuhana, but an unrelated account with I think just happening to have that similar name had a not safe for work picture showing a revealed chest. So I gotta delete that segment from the VOD in order to make it go public again. I can't really do that while I'm live, which kind of makes me sad, because now this stream's not going to grow for the rest of it, but that's okay. Yeah, that's what happened. But previously, I did try to look into the Taiga callout document, but that's since been deleted, so we can't really go in depth about it.
My main idea there was just, and I talked about this earlier with my community, and I still stand by this. It's my opinion, and it's totally fine for people to have opposing opinions. I think that promoting the Hogwarts Legacy game by streaming it was something that was not helpful to the trans community. And I had made it clear that I thought, in my opinion, that no streamer should have been streaming it. That does not mean that I went out of my way to just like look for people who were streaming it and harass them, you know, even just post disagreements. I only ever spoke up on tweets that, in my opinion, felt like they.
When maybe searching links like that, maybe have an eye-catching thingy first before searching. Oh, what I actually should have done is switched over to this screen and then searched for it. And then when I found it, switched back over to my PC screen. But I didn't think about it.
They crossed the line into people that were like trying to play the victim or trying to, you know, come across from that victimizing like pity kind of thing of like, I really wanted to play this game, but I'm getting so many people being mean to me, like that kind of thing, where it was like, it's an engagement tweet. It's meant to pull a certain audience. That's the way that I saw that. And those were things that I responded to.
There was a lot of pick-me behavior. And by that, I mean a lot of people that were like, there are trans people saying that playing the game harms trans people. Well, I'm playing the game and I'm trans, that kind of shit. There are some people that played the victim doing that I've been getting harassment for wanting to play my play a game for my favorite childhood franchise. And it's like, you're being pick me. Do you not realize that?
But is that not a good majority of your tweet here? The tweet we're talking about.
Sorry, I'm trying to understand what you're asking me.
So you say that you were kind of just had an issue with people having this woe is me mentality, but these last couple days, that's really all you've been, is this woe is me mentality. About people harassing you, about people not liking you. Even in the Hogwarts Legacy thing, there was a whole lot of woe
I
is
see
me.
what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Then let me clarify.
That individual who made the website is this streamer streaming Hogwarts Legacy. Now that's really bad form. That actually gets brought up in this conversation. So we will be addressing that, Angel.
It's not about people ever complaining about being a victim in a scenario. I'm not victim blaming or shaming or anything like that. I'm not saying like, you know, suck it up, nobody's ever a victim. What
Mizu was saying there was that it comes across that you, Marina, were playing the victim there. I think that's what Mizu was trying to say.
I'm saying is, again, like, this is just my opinion on the whole situation, which people are welcome to agree with. And like, I don't think this opinion is what's being debated, hopefully, because I already know that people are just not going to agree with me, and some people will agree with me. It's the idea that I don't think streamers should have promoted Hogwarts Legacy. I think that the promotion directly promoted J.K. Rowling, who's transphobic, objectively, and that was, by supporting J.K. Rowling, it, you know, supports that transphobic viewpoint that gets lobbied for and all of that stuff, right? So in my opinion,
personally, this is where I do greatly disagree with Marina. I don't think it's directly promoting J.K. Rowling's platform to play the wizard game. Or to stream the wizard game, I should clarify. Because like that was her stance. She didn't care if people actually played the game. She just didn't think streamers should stream the game, because that would have been promoting and endorsing the game. But again, I don't think just streaming the game was endorsing J.K. Rowling. You could have streamed the game while criticizing J.K. Rowling. Because again, there are so many people that just care about, hey, I want to play a new game. Oh, hey, this game is coming out. It's based on my childhood favorite franchise. I'm going to see what's up. And then it also trends on Twitter for months before release because people kept saying, boycott the game, don't play the game. So unfortunately, the people wanting to boycott it were also the people that kept it trending. And then there was a massive boost of viewership because there was talk about it for months before it released, and then when it finally does release, there's a huge boost in it. There was a lot of people that were, I'm playing this game specifically because people are hating on it. There are a bunch of people that were just checking out new Harry Potter game. That's neat. That's poggers, right? And then there were people that were, no, I think it was actually those main two. But anyways, there could have been responsible ways of streaming that game. Again, I mentioned it earlier in this video, but Hasanabi wanted to stream the game. He wanted to make trans talking points while streaming the game. We could have had the biggest left-leaning streamer playing the game, making pro-trans talking points to a bunch of people that aren't as online as we are, that don't actually know about J.K. Rowling like we do, or the people that separate the art from the artist and don't really pay attention to J.K. Rowling. So there could have been a ton of people that were introduced into, oh, wait, J.K. Rowling has done this stuff? Oh, that's why people call her a bad person. But no, people were like, don't engage with it at all. It is bad to engage with it. You're not an ally if you engage with it. That kind of bullshit. Personally, I see that as gatekeeping, and I think that's a problem for the left.
Opinion, the victims in this whole situation was the trans community.
God,
if people
this
don't
stream
agree
is
with
long.
me, that's fine. I'm not here to argue that, right? I'm not here to argue whether people, support trans people or think that they were, victims or whatever it might be. To me, I'm saying I definitely 100% don't think victims were people that said, hey, I want to play this game.
Marina.
And then people
You've
from
got a
their
new
community
takeaway.
said, I really don't want you to play that game. Please don't play that game, right? Which was the vast majority, right? It was the vast majority of what most streamers actually experienced.
So I would
A lot-
have to
yeah.
call you out on that, just because I
Okay.
said, I disagree that what Melia did was harassment. So for that same
Okay.
reason, I typically disagree that a lot of stuff that happened along Hogwarts Legacy was necessarily harassment. However, you've made it clear you believe that's harassment. So you're now making it clear that even though it was, by your own definition, harassment.
There's an interesting take from Keffels. Even after the Syria-Turkey earthquake charity drive, Hassan unfortunately didn't follow through with trans charity and stream Hogwarts Legacy. Huh? I don't get the comparison there. Keffel saying that Hassan should have anyways, but maybe it's also scheduling probs too. I don't think with Hasanabi it was scheduling problems. It was he wanted to stream the game because he knew of the controversy and the backlash that he would get, but he thought it would have been a good thing to have at least one big streamer playing the game making pro-trans talking points rather than people just playing the game and not talking about it at all, or not addressing the problems with the Harry Potter universe in general, or the problems with J.K. Rowling herself, or the people that jump onto the bandwagon of hating on or pushing back against trans activists for whatever reason they have. Who knows? We're not explaining Keffels' take. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. What I do know is that Hassan wanted to stream the game, and then his chat convinced him out of it, and he was like, okay, I'm not going to do it. But I believe he still said, even though he wasn't going to do it, he thinks it would have been a better idea if he did, if I'm remembering correctly.
To Hogwarts Legacy people, you just genuinely, I guess, don't care.
Wait,
Because
I'm
you're
confused.
trying
I'm
to
sorry.
reframe the discussion. Well, they weren't being harassed; their followers were just telling them stuff online. Like, no, they're people who were not their followers in most cases. We're treating them the exact same way Melia treats you, and you've established you believe that's harassment.
Sorry. So I'm not. Yes, the thought has not been completed. What I said was the vast majority of people were not harassing. They were simply saying, don't play this, it's bad to play this, it makes me feel unsafe with playing this, etc. Like, there were things that were being said. Now, there were some people who were saying things that would cross the line into harassment. These are things like telling someone to end their life, telling someone to hurt themselves, telling someone you wish that they were dead, you know, telling like things that involve violence, things that involve threats, things that involve things like that. That is absolutely harassment. Misgendering somebody, absolutely. Do you think misgendering somebody is harassment?
No, I believe by your definition it would be, with like the list of other things.
Right there, Mizu says that misgendering somebody is not harassment, even though it can, like, there can be a gray area of misgendering that isn't harassment. Actually, in this video, when I accidentally misgendered J.K. Rowling, that would not be harassment because I corrected myself really quickly. In Melia's case, it was deliberate that they were calling this person a guy. Not only is her representation super feminine, she's also shared some IRL pictures. She's shown her face on her Twitter. And guess what? She's a cute girl too. On with her VTuber and not. And to call her, or to use his, he, him pronouns against Marina is explicitly to dehumanize her, to take away her agency of who she gets to be. They're trying to impose what they think about her onto her. They're trying, again, dehumanizing is the big point for me with the misgendering. But, I mean, I don't think Mizu is a very good faith actor here.
I will tell you this now, and my chat already knows this. I genuinely do not care about pronouns. My chat is allowed to use whatever pronouns they want with me, and I believe
That's fine.
That's cool for you. But what about the people that do care about the pronouns that they're called about? What about the people that do explicitly want to be referred to with feminine pronouns, and then there's people that go out of their way to call them masculine pronouns? Is there a problem with that, or is it people overreacting?
If you have an extreme focus on pronouns, you are far more concerned with what other people think of you than anything about your own identity.
You've got a new toy to
Okay.
play with.
Okay, I'm trying to understand your opinion. So if somebody goes out of their way, if somebody feels comfortable with a certain set of pronouns, and someone else goes out of their way to use, you know, the
I don't know how Mizu identifies regarding their gender identity, but I know on their Twitter bio they say any and all pronouns, and they are self-proclaimed trap tuber. So keep that in mind.
wrong pronouns in a way to devalue or hurt them, you don't think that's harassment?
Are they following you around and forcing you to listen to them?
Yes, actually, yes. Melia was doing that. You admitted earlier in this conversation that Melia had harassed her. God damn it.
Because I think that's the problem that a lot of people miss. Harassment is not
Okay.
somebody insulted me or somebody said mean things to me. Harassment
Okay.
is somebody follows me around in real life to make my real life more difficult. And
Harassment doesn't have to only be online. We went over a article about a Japanese court case regarding a completely anonymous VTuber that was defamed and harassed online, and it still was regarded as defamation. It still counted as remarks made against the character the person is portraying are still remarks against the person themselves. But, you know, that's not a legit appeal to authority for this guy.
to make it
Okay.
difficult for me to actually function in society.
Okay, so we have different views on harassment then, because
Well,
yeah,
that's
I
the
would
one.
say that's harassment, and I would say, you know, what you're doing is also harassment and things like that. Okay. Okay.
Alright,
Okay. So yeah.
Real quick, I do have a few comments in my chat.
Sure,
I
sure.
have Ginny saying, what about telling someone that they're transphobic solely off the basis that they played a game?
Personally, I think that is a stretch. Nobody is directly transphobic just for playing Hogwarts Legacy. There is one person I will call explicitly transphobic for playing the game. Pippa Pipkin. She made a tweet announcing her playing Hogwarts Legacy, being, I hate Harry Potter, but I hate Twitter freaks more. That is the only time I will call somebody explicitly transphobic for playing the game at all. Misgendering via repeated misuse of English pronouns, that's rudeness and harassment online and offline. Yeah, literally. Also, I forget where I was going.
I would be curious to see if anyone has a tweet where I called somebody transphobic. Again, I think...
I think at this point it was, somebody, what's it? There are other people that have made that claim, and, you know, they try to ascribe the actions of the group, the actions of the individuals to the actions of the group as well. So even if you don't individually do that action, you are part of a group that has people that done that action. So therefore you are supporting that group. Bad, you know how it goes.
Let me see. I have.
God, I hope
they
they go on break soon. I gotta go to the bathroom again.
Sure. Chat. Sorry for cutting you off.
No,
God damn it.
I think it comes down to, again, that same idea of, like, you can tell somebody that they're being a racist without calling them a racist. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think...
Yes, you can indirectly do something that is racist without having a racist mindset behind it. You can do something unintentionally with, like, you can do something bad with good intentions. Personally, I don't think the intention matters, it's the outcome. And with Hogwarts Legacy, I don't think there's any actual harm being done. Oh my god, I have to go to the bathroom again. I'm so sorry. The problem with spirulactone and a liquid diet. I complain about my liquid diet and then I go and get more stuff to drink.
Yeah, and I think that someone who contributes to something that harms the trans community, that would be a transphobic act potentially, if that's what you're asking.
I would agree with that statement, but I don't think that promoting Hogwarts, again, I don't think that promoting Hogwarts Legacy was harming the community. My take, I disagree with her. I still really, really like Marina.
Am I saying that person is transphobic for playing the game? No, I wouldn't say that that person is transphobic. They could be transphobic based on other things they're saying or doing or the way they're doing it, right? Like, if someone's going out of their way to play it and they're saying, like, I'm playing this game to spite trans people, I think that's clearly transphobic. But
I think so too. I think so too.
if someone... Okay, sorry, let me see what you're saying.
I have a follow-up saying, not saying that you did
Yeah,
that, but more so if people say that in chat says that to a streamer, is that not harassment?
That would be harassment. And that is some stuff that Pikami got. There was some people that did go into her chat that just outright called her a transphobe. I was only able to confirm 2 accounts that actually did it, maybe 3, and only one of them was still active on YouTube, or not active, like still had a account around that I could find. And it only had 1 video, like a 30-second video of a dead bird just hanging on to something blown in the wind. One of the people that called Pikami a transphobe. God, I can't remember what that account was. I really wish. It's been forever since I looked into it. But like there was a lot of people that perpetuated that goddamn stereotype. By hell, I think I'm willing to bet there was a lot of fake accounts that did participate in doing that. I would not be surprised at all if there were like real people that actually did that with their main account kind of thing. But I just haven't seen it as a broad thing. I've seen way more people like that actually have other platforms they're on, like on YouTube or on the Twitch. The people on Twitter doing that, like saying that stuff, tend to not be as vitriolic as the people with no other connections.
Is it harassment to call somebody transphobic?
If they're just playing a game.
Yeah, I would say it's inappropriate to say you are transphobic because you're playing this.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would not be okay with that. I would never tell my a follower to do that. If I was, modding for that streamer, I would delete that message.
Yeah, because I know that
to be fair, like if these guys wanted to make a legit argument against Marina right now, they would have a much easier time if they had said something along the lines of, well, you have said directly that promoting the game does harm the community, so that would inspire your audience to go forth and say, and to declare the people that are streaming the game as transphobes, would it not? But then again, that's a non-falsifiable statement unless you've got screenshots of people from Marina's community specifically, explicitly doing that stuff. But I mean, if you're going to make that claim, you gotta have receipts, because it is kind of non-falsifiable. I just think it's a better argument than what they've been giving to her so far.
Not everybody is on Twitter, and there are some streamers that are just they're not paying attention to the politics. They're not paying attention to Twitter because, not everybody has Twitter. But, say that they
Pay attention to politics, you fucking cowards.
were playing Hogwarts Legacy during all of that, and then they just get a bunch of people that, when that weird-ass website was up saying, who's playing that wizard game, and they're getting harassed by people saying, hey, you're transphobic because you're playing this. Then it's like some people did do that just because they were weirdly tracking people using that website, which again, who went out of their way to do that?
I think it's important to touch on that subject real quick, because I think there was a lot of misinformation surrounding that website. The website was not up for very long, and I think a lot of people don't really understand what the website was. So that website, the one you're talking about, the one that tracked people, what it actually did was it connected to your follower list, and it told you people that you were following that were playing Hogwarts Legacy, which is something that you can already do on your sidebar. See, there was a lot of misinformation that said there was a website, talking about that website, that allowed you to see other people that you don't follow that was playing Hogwarts Legacy, and you could have used that to, snipe people. One, that's not true. That was misinformation that I do believe was started by people who were transphobic or against this movement and looking for ways to discredit it. I also want to point out the same thing that I always point out about that argument, which was the best way to track streamers to harass who are playing Hogwarts Legacy is by clicking on the Hogwarts Legacy category on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of silly. It's already there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, like that website that just says, hey, this person had streamed Hogwarts Legacy in the past. Like, you can see my comment right here at the bottom of Marina's chat, where basically my argument regarding this website is that how is this website a indication of a broad harassment campaign coming from trans activists when it was taken down quickly, and there is the Soyjack wiki that still has multiple pages of people that they've doxed and swatted, and they still do it. But nobody really talks about it. They just want to talk about the trans activists they don't like, for whatever reason, whatever their biases are. We don't know.
the only way to see people who you're not following.
I guess my disagreement with you on that is your points basically come to, well, the site got taken down pretty quick, and there are other ways to find that information. And I genuinely don't really find either of those to be very compelling arguments when the site was both very hyped up by several groups of people and people that were very much trans people who would be, quote, on your side, were hyping up the site as a good way to stalk and harass these people.
You gonna show your receipts for that? Trick question. I was in there. He's not. Oh wait, no, they don't care about pronouns, right? Z's not going to care about that. They're not going to show their receipts. Oh fuck, sorry. Z's not going to show their receipts. I'm so used to new neo pronouns. That's kind of why I like people that say any all pronouns. It gives me a chance to actually practice neo pronouns. Like, I might not like them personally, but like if somebody actually wants to be called by neo pronouns, I'm gonna call them by their neo pronouns.
I'm not. I can be clear with you if you think it's an important caveat to mention that no, not all trans people agree with this. I've actually talked about this on my Twitter before. I, for a while, thought I was trans, and because of that, I have a lot of friends that are trans in my private circles. So I obviously don't believe all trans people are just like these raging scumbags who go around harassing anyone. However, there is, just as there are in every community, there's a very large vocal contingent that will take it to the extreme, and when they do, they are always listed as bad actors. And it feels like there's never any...
Is there a case of a good actor taking things to an extreme? I wonder if they actually have any. Interesting exercise idea there. For peeps with any pronouns as expressions, practicing neo pronouns. Yeah, I also kind of think it's... I don't have any concrete evidence. It's just kind of vibes for me, but I think it's a good litmus test, because there will be people that are like, I don't care about pronouns, but then you start calling them by neo pronouns and suddenly they start getting triggered over pronouns. So it's kind of like giving them a taste of their own medicine. But you never really know, do you? Unless they actually start getting outraged. Then it's funny.
It's not even just that there's no acknowledgement that they do agree with the same stuff you do, just in a more extreme version. It's always, they're not real trans people. They're just trying to make us look bad.
Who is saying they're not real trans people? There were people saying it was fake accounts to go around and call people transphobes. But like, if somebody is actually making that opinion, like one of my ex friends had that opinion. They were a goddamn pick-me over Hogwarts Legacy. And well, I forget the point I was going to make. But oh yeah, they were a pick-me about Hogwarts Legacy, but that didn't make them not a real trans person. It just made them rude. Like, I don't think there's anything particularly wrong with playing or saying, like, publicly saying that you're going to play a game or that you're going to stream a game. I think it's particularly wrong if you see people are bringing up issues with it, like, hey, I think this thing does harm to a community if you openly promote it, and then people go, yeah, well, I'm part of that community and I'm openly promoting it, so there. It's literally pick me stuff. But it doesn't make them fake trans people. I think the people that actually try and make like true trans arguments are pretty bad faith actors personally, because they're trying to disprove somebody's identity when if you have a good argument, you don't need to bring identity into it at all. Like, I would love to have somebody show me one of my arguments I've made where I relied on idpoll to get the point across.
Okay. Can we acknowledge the part about the website's purpose though? Or I'm sorry, the capability. Let's talk about the capability. Are we all in agreement that the website only showed you who you were following?
Yeah, I remember just clicking on it once because I was curious on how the site worked, and you did have to log in through your Twitch, which is why I didn't use it, because I don't trust random ass websites.
Okay.
Smart
It
plan.
only showed you, yeah, it only showed you who you were following, and the website was not designed to harass people. The website was designed for you, as a person who this was an important issue for, to be able to look at the people you follow, and know if any of them streamed the game that you felt a strong disagreement with, so that you could then unfollow them.
Do you know what Shinigami Eyes is?
If you want to. Yeah, I know what Shinigami Eyes is.
Would you say that the purpose of Shinigami Eyes is for somebody who is trans positive to avoid people that they think could be transphobic and against them?
I think the purpose of Shinigami Eyes is to make it easier to spot potential transphobic people by telling you someone has been flagged in an algorithm, and with your, hopefully, someone using this having critical thinking is able to then look and see why they might be marked that way. Because, like with anything, I'm sure there are going to be false, people that are falsely marked as transphobic, and people that are falsely marked as, transpositive and things like that.
Okay, so here's the thing. Shinigami Eyes is not a algorithm. It's not a bot kind of thing. It's anonymously reported by the community broadly. Whether or not somebody is labeled trans positive or trans negative, it is all people reporting other people. Essentially, like, this is my engagement with this person. I think they should be flagged one way or the other. It's not a perfect system, and I do believe Marina is correct here with how it was how it was created and what it was created for, in order to, spot the bad people. Overall, it tends to have a pretty good track record of who's good and bad kind of thing. But like, it's not a one-to-one thing. I've seen people. Oh, Shinigami's Eyes extension was raised. Okay. The point was that trans folks trying to find ways to deal with hate online is a kind of harassment. Yeah, like, excuse me. Like, it seems to me like the argument being made is that Shinigami Eyes is a form of targeted harassment because people are being labeled as transphobes by having their name flagged as red. God damn it. Don't be like that. I've had enough liquid today. But there was always going to be bad faith actors, of course. But I mean, you can be flagged as trans positive and then be unflagged. I would know. I was flagged as trans positive before, but right now, if you look at my profile, I got a white name. I don't have a red name, I don't have a green name. I'm willing to bet It's because some people have seen who I'm following. I'm following like Rev Says Desu. I'm following VTuber Cringe, Curry Ringy. I'm following Pipkin Pippa. I'm not endorsing those people. I'm just following them. I'm seeing what they have to say. I should probably actually start engaging with them some more. Though, I mean, they'd probably cry, oh, harassment, harassment, you're targeting me with harassment. And it's like, okay, I'm okay with that. When it's a person I actively disagree with and I'm not attacking like any immutable characteristics, I'm just criticizing and attacking things they have said or done, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with harassing people that way.
So I would recommend to someone to take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, I think the overall object is to make it easier. I don't think it's supposed to be a replacement for using your brain.
Yeah, nothing is a replacement for using your brain. But so many people will just try. How much did you miss? How far into this video are we? I have been talking about Marina for 4 hours, and I've got at least, I want to say, an hour and change. An hour and 15 minutes left in this debate, essentially.
I would say that I think you have a very rose-tinted version of how people use things like these. The people that want to use things like Shinigami Eyes and the people that want to use things like Hogwarts Legacy, a very small minority are using those to avoid transphobic people. Because somebody, as you said, who is level-headed and going to do their own research is going to be level-headed and do their own research. They're not going to download apps that just mark everyone for them. And I can speak from experience that Shinigami Eyes, yes, people just use it to stalk and harass people. Their memes.
Can you provide evidence of this, or is it a non-falsifiable claim?
For it now that something about the red name, and people will try and dogpile on you for it. While I can agree with you that perhaps the original intention of these apps were somewhat wholesome, their overall use cases by the people that are vocally using them is a harassment and stalking tool. Because that's what you do when you hand every person, regardless of who they are, a database that marks a large group of people. They're naturally going to be inclined to abuse that database.
Okay. I can understand that point. I think there's a lot of things that can be looked at like that.
Well, I guess
there are several.
Didn't this person just say harassment can only occur in real life? Yeah. They said that harassment doesn't count if it's online, and they're not actively chasing you around. You know, that kind of thing that Melio was doing to Marina.
But okay, yeah. What is your question or point?
Well, my point isn't that this is unique to them. It's that I feel like you're kind of dismissing what these apps are actually being used for in favor of, well, the intention was nice. I can agree, the intention was nice.
Prove the outcome then if you're going to make that claim. Because, like, unironically, there has been somebody, like, fuck it, they were in this, I've already mentioned them in this video. Shinigami Ryan, somebody I have had kerfuffles with on Twitter before. And, well, the reason I decided to, unfollow, like soft block them, was actually related to Shinigami Eyes. It was pretty fucking funny. Basically what happened was Ryan was beefing with somebody, and then a random person that wasn't involved had popped in to give their 2 cents because they were beefing on Twitter. So they gave their 2 cents, and then at the end of that, they said, "Why is your name flagged red?" And then Ryan was all confused. "What do you mean flagged red?" And the person was saying, like, well, Shinigami Eyes, that kind of thing. Like, Ryan was being told that they were flagged for potential transphobia. And then, in order to combat the accusation of transphobia, Ryan just went more transphobic. Uh, uh I'm just trying to show my receipts, by the way. Oh my god. Okay, essentially, this drama might make me drink again. I mean, if you have problems with drinking, you should avoid it. For real, if it is a problem for you, please click off and like go focus on something else. Take care of yourself first. Yeah, okay, where was it? I can't find the original. I can't find the original thread about where I was just talking about. Where was it? Where was it? God, I have a lot of I have a lot of tweets about Ryan. All right, a fair bit that have the word Ryan in them. Damn, I really wish, because I see the tweet where I see the tweet where I said, been an experience, Ryan, and we parted our ways. But I'm not seeing the thread that actually started off the pissy fit. But basically, this is from like June 10th. Getting tired of being the ableist in the community. Had several unfollow me and at least 2 block me. Say it with your full chest, you hate autistic people. I replied, they don't hate autistic people, they hate transphobes, because that's literally what we were talking about. And this was all about Ryan being mad at Troopy. I don't even remember the context at this point, but Ryan said, yeah, I called Troopy out on it. He doesn't care. Transphobia is okay when it's a friend, apparently. She, fuck off. And Ryan was trying to defend themselves that they're not a transphobe. And this all spiraled because Ryan has a red flagged name. It's all doubling down, and it goes over days and days and days and days. And it ultimately culminated with me saying, been an experience, Ryan, peace. Hell, like, literally in this thread, Ryan called, or not this thread, in a different thread, Ryan called Marina a pedo. Also, you follow a pedo, shut the fuck up. And this person asked, also, Marina is a pedo? Please provide evidence, because if that's the case, I'll happily unfollow her. Ryan's response. Here's a video about EVA, who is not Marina. And I actually don't know the shit behind EVA. I might have looked into it at once, but this was still Ryan there calling Marina a pedophile. Calls Marina a pedo. Only proof is a video about a different VTuber that was one. In before all anti-lollies are pedophiles. Show me where I said all. And then that was the point. I was like, yeah, I'm done with this person. I don't want to interact with them anymore. That's when I soft blocked him. Did Marina call Taiga a pedo? No, she didn't directly call him a pedo. Fuck's sakes. Did I ever say all? No, you didn't say all. What the fuck did you think in before was? I used a D instead of a B because I had a typo. And okay. Anyways, back to the actual point of the video. Rather than just substantiating that people get pissy over being flagged for transphobia. Because, you know, people don't like it when you point out their bad traits. They get defensive.
But the person who made the app is not what we're complaining about. We're complaining about what the app led to and all the other people using it.
Have you ever seen any proof of this? Because I have to say, I have never, not once, seen any proof of the app was used to harass people. I have never seen, you know, anything that kind of explained, I don't know, anything that explains or anything that shows, like, that people used the app to go do that. Does that make sense? Like, I heard a lot of
Can I
hearsay.
interject for a second, please?
Yeah.
All right, so I don't know I have no idea what Shinigami eyes are until it was explained here, but I have seen some comments under specifically the glitch energy post talking about like, oh, why's your name red? And I'm like, I don't know what the hell they're talking about. So I was going through the comments and stuff, and they mentioned Shinigami eyes. So it's like, you know, it's not, I haven't seen it on a large scale, but it's like to get little jabs at people if they're like posting under something or.
The little jab that you're thinking about is, hey, why are you flagged red? That tends to, only transphobes tend to get flagged red. What's up with that? Did you know that you can actually defend yourself without engaging in transphobia? Like, if people are calling or are implying that you might be a transphobe because you have a red flagged name, you don't disprove them by being transphobic about it and like turning into a cunt about it, which is not that hard to do, but some people just can't help themselves.
Or, you know, it's kind of used as a tool to kind of have a gotcha on somebody, but if I haven't seen it used to make like, you know, a whole list of people or like, hey, look at these specific people are red under Shinigami eye, so do this or blah blah blah. It's more so on a smaller scale than like, you know, on a crusade.
Or like an entire wiki with pages dedicated to the people they have doxed and swatted, along with video of when they got it on stream and stuff.
I can clear this up like fairly quickly, I think, with this.
I was referring to Soy Jack Wiki, by the way, not the Hogwarts Legacy stuff.
Example. So you would agree that Shinigami eyes is mostly for specifically marking transphobic people, right?
I want to say I love you, chat. Yes, it's made to mark people who are generally flagged as like transphobic or high likelihood of being transphobic. That's the way they mention it, I believe, is that it's like a higher likelihood and then a higher likelihood of being trans positive.
And you would agree that you would be considered a very trans-positive person?
Yeah, generally.
In the same way, would you agree that based on your model, you present as a white person?
I
Based on
think
your
people
model.
can make that assumption.
Would
Sure.
you say that you don't get very much targeted black racism towards you in your chats?
I've gotten plenty of targeted black racism. Maybe not at me, but I've gotten
Literally
a lot of
nobody.
Yeah, like
nobody knew where Mizu was going with this. Zera's making a very weird point right here. I don't even remember where they went with it.
Anti-black racism in my chat, namely because I have a Black Lives Matter support redeem.
But you have not gotten any like anti-black hatred.
For me personally, no, I have not.
So would you say it doesn't really exist because you personally haven't gotten it?
No, of course not.
Do you guys just feel the good faith in this argument from Mizu? It's just dripping with it.
So,
I've witnessed it tons
but
of
at the
times.
same time, you'd say that with Shinigami eyes, even though you were
Yeah.
trans positive and you are not the person the app is targeting, that you haven't seen it, and you don't think perhaps that's because the app isn't targeting you?
No, okay. Let's. I don't think that I was ever asked this, because if the question is literally like, is it possible that someone? Okay, let's break this down, right? I'm gonna try to approach this from where I think you're coming from, which is, if I'm someone who uses Shinigami eyes.
Seriously, props to Marina. She understood the point far better than I did.
And I see someone with a red name, and they say something that I disagree with, I can say, something along lines of like, I'm not listening to you because you're marked red or whatever. And then multiple other people who have Shinigami eyes could die.
I'm also kind of feeling that maybe that Mizu person was fishing for content just by generating / commenting on stuff. To be fair, I'm not going to criticize Mizu for that as well. I mean, I do that too. Like, that's literally the majority of my channel. But I'm not trying to gotcha people. I'm just responding to what they say. This stream is a different one from the other tea time stream they had. What do you mean? Are you referring to Marina's tea time stream or something that Mizu has done? Because I know Marina did like some kind of big stream today, unrelated to all this. I really hope it went well for her.
Definitely do the same thing. And that person could feel harassed or dogpiled on or whatever it might be. Yeah, that's absolutely possible. Like, I'm not trying to dismiss that. But I think the fact that that's a possibility is a weird thing if it's used as an argument to say, like, Shinigami eyes is a bad application, it should not exist. Because I think by that logic, any social media platform would have to be looked at as a bad application.
Well, public again. I'll unlist it after stream while it edits.
The original Twitter thread you made is you kind of have this idea of,
no, I can't really do public.
Real. And you actually bring this up several times in the Twitter
Don't worry
thread.
about it. Don't worry about it. Forget what happened.
You're like, well, I personally don't believe that's harassment, so you weren't harassed. And I don't think...
You remember there was a tea time stream, Mizu plus Lumi plus one other person there 2 days ago? Yes. Like, at the start of this debate, essentially, Mizu and Lumi were talking about how they're wanting to do, like, drama-related podcasts, like the kind of shit that I do. And, like, I'm actually in somewhat contact with Lumi. But well, there's no real but. I make drama content. I just like to push progressive thinking. That's what I do. I don't make drama. I respond to drama. Then Marina Sensei appeared and asked if she could go on their stream. Yeah, pretty much. Basically what was happening, like, as a little bit of recap, because this video is long. As a little bit of recap for what happened at the start of this was, this one is a continuation of that one. Oh, I'm doing one video for the Marina stuff, and so far it's long as fuck. Like, we're at 4 hours right now. But basically, Marina had put out a tweet, or Marina got the sponsorship, the company got the backlash. Marina put out a tweet addressing the accusations made against her, and then she went live to talk about all of it. And then as she was getting towards the bottom of the tweet that she put out, like explaining her thoughts behind it, as she was literally about to get to the conclusion, she went to a break and came back and was like, hey, these people are actually live right now streaming, talking about this stuff, and they kind of seem like they're not liking what they're seeing. So I'm going to see if I can talk with them. And they talked with her. And we're watching that now. We're in the first half of this conversation. It is going until 3 hours in. Then they take a little break. And I'm going to be honest, I want to take a little break too. Because I've been going for a while. But like, oh, it looks like it's going on for another hour after that break they had. So this is going to be a long one.
This works, I guess.
Okay.
You really just kind of sound like a hypocrite a lot of the times when you're saying it. Because especially you say this to people who are claiming they are getting harassed, and you'll, especially during the Hogwarts Legacy thing, you would specifically go to them and say, "You're not being harassed. You need to get over it."
Do you have an example of where I said that or
Twitter
something like
thread.
that?
Your Twitter thread, the one you included, was literally, "You're not a victim."
I'm
You
so
admitted to
confused
doing
with
that to several
this guy's
people
point.
in our interview here.
So let's take a look.
There
Let's
was
take a
another
look
stream before
at
this.
that thread. I think that's important to do then.
That would
If you
This stream that we're going over was from 2 days ago, and both Mizuhana and Lumi were live at the same time. So like 3 people, Marina, Lumi, and Mizu, were all streaming this conversation. We are just currently watching Marina's perspective.
look,
My point. My
if
point
you
was
look-
people said they're being harassed, and you will go to them and say you're not being harassed.
but
You did that.
okay,
to a
I guess-
lot of
I guess-
people,
I guess the thing is I didn't do that.
But you literally did.
I will interject real quick.
Yeah.
So we don't go off the rails and into the ocean.
Sure, of course.
So just to wrap up the talk about specifically Shinigami Eyes and stuff.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
I can tell from what I've heard about it, and having a very, very, very limited understanding on what this application is for, it seems like it might not scan, but take a look at people's Twitter, see any keywords, and probably base it off of that. But any tool can be used for bad things. We can all agree on that. So it's like we can't really blame the tool being used in a bad way. But we can appreciate when it's being used, to find transphobes or people who are, in a positive light. Nothing is perfect. We wish it could be. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in a bad place and all that. But I know Occo wanted to say something as well, but we were kind of like, letting you guys talk because, I didn't want to interject here or there. So
Please.
I feel like we're derailing just a little bit.
Okay.
Little.
Because again, as somebody who knows next to nothing about Marina, I'm trying to learn the issue here. I'm trying to pretend like I am somebody that knows next to nothing. Because again, before tonight, all I know is vague things that people have said, and so I'm trying to understand, not only the point behind the twitlonger or the post. I'm going to call it a twitlonger because I used to roleplay here. I'm trying to understand the reason behind it, and from what it sounds like, it's just you're venting that you feel like people are getting on you, harassing you, and all that kind of stuff. And that's kind of what I'm seeing from this. Am I right, or?
I think it's an oversimplification. I'm going to try to give you the quickest explanation. Basically, I partnered with a company, an engineering company called Glitch. They announced my video, and there was a lot of comments that were on there that were either just flat out transphobic, or they were saying things that were untrue. They were spreading things that I knew were lies or mischaracterizations or things like that. That was a big thing that has been happening since Saturday. It's declined as the days have gone on. Saturday, Sunday was the worst. And then I kind of just dropped it. I thought about making a post like this, but I wasn't sure. And then basically I was sent this post at the very bottom of this tweet. I was sent that tweet that showed another content creator who I've interacted with in the past, but I'm not close with. They don't know me, really. We've never had an in-depth conversation or anything like that. But they made this post about me not being able to take criticism and using transphobia and my gender identity as a shield. Something that I had to do a lot of introspection on and self-reflecting, which was, I think, ironic because the whole post is that I don't ever self-reflect. And I talked to some people about it to get opinions. I'm a huge believer in sanity checks. I think that it's not healthy for anyone to just go around saying, I am right, I'm always right. I think people need to talk to...
But I am always right. I can't help it that people can't prove me wrong. Please, prove me wrong. No, but seriously, I do make mistakes as well. I just like to say I'm always correct as a way of kind of challenging people. Hey, call me out on what I'm wrong on. Come on. I actually want to, improve myself. But so far, when I have been told I've been wrong, and then I looked into it, I've been right. I was fucking right about the Rev video with Gwen Stacy. I was fucking right about... There's something else in this stream, but I have a horrible memory.
Other people and surround themselves with friends who actually are honest with them. So I did some introspection, and I came to the conclusion that I am not doing the things that they say. And I think that in that introspection, the conclusion I came to was that because I was getting so much hate, so much transphobic hate, and I was commenting on that it seemed as though I was dismissing things as transphobia when they might have looked like criticisms, because they were saying things like, you were harassing people, you did this and that, when, I didn't do those things. But people basically viewed it as like, okay, so she is not owning up to it, she's just blaming it on transphobia, which is not something that I did. So seeing another content creator go out of the way to make a post.
Yeah, like, Marina hadn't directly done it, but people had thought that was the impression that some people had gotten because of how she actually handled it. Honestly, guys, this is so fucking long. Oh my god, I can't wait to get through this, or get to the part I haven't seen yet. That whole hour of juicy new content, but it's like almost getting close to 11 p.m. for me right now. So what I might do is go to the break with the rest of this debate review. We got like 5 more minutes. So it's going to take me like an hour to get to. But we have like 5 more minutes until the first break. And then at that point will be where I have watched entirely. So what I'm kind of thinking, tomorrow we'll finish this off. Because I don't think I'm going to finish it tonight. I'm way too tired. But we'll just get through this next part until they get to their break. Honestly, split it? Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking about it. Because, like, we're at 420 hours. Nice. And, well, there's another hour of the debate to get through. So, like, I think I'm going to have an entire week of Marina content if I just break up this stuff into individual segments throughout the timeline. Like, where I go over the hit piece that I covered going against her initially, then where I covered her Twitter post, that long Twitter post, then I have this part 1 of the debate, and then I'm going to have part 2 of the debate. I would just need to talk about one more thing about Marina unrelated to this. Oh my god, the criticism I could give Marina. That in and of itself could be a video. Actually, no, it would be a very, very, very short video, because I would make my point and that's it, and I don't really need to put out a 2-minute video of... Actually, no, that would be pretty fucking funny. Like, I've got all this content of talking about Marina getting called out and all that, and then just, what the hell is a red flagged name? Like this. This is a red flagged name with Shinigami eyes. Marina, wait, she was earlier flagged. Huh. Yeah, Shinigami eyes flags trans-positive people as green and transphobic people as red. Oh shit, is he still going around? But it's good the blacklist got that person. Put out a thread on it. Who do I know is flagged green? Okay, here, you can see that, I mean, we all are in our own ways. You can see this stuff is popping up as green on their profile. Like, their name pops up in green. That means they have been flagged for being a positive voice for transgender advocacy. And then you saw red voice. That typically means this person has been against trans advocacy, essentially.
post like that, I thought was extremely unprofessional, and I felt like I kind of had to. At that point,
just
I felt like I
about
had to make a
peeps with
post
the
that
Shinigami eyes 'cause
outlined
it's solid
the
mark.
major things that
Yeah,
I
that's
saw
true.
being said to me during that week.
Like, Shinigami eyes, again, is all anonymously self-reported. So, like, it may seem like you're flagged or unflagged randomly, but it is people actively sharing that stuff. What if I'm both against and for trans stuff? Because I'm literally play both sides by being informed. I mean, you have a white name. You don't get flagged one way or another if you're not explicitly against or explicitly for. Personally, like, you guys know my arguments. I'm explicitly for trans rights and trans acceptance, all that shit. But I don't get to keep that green name because I follow problematic people. Because I want to keep an eye on the kind of shit they say. I don't subscribe to Rev Says Desu or Vtuber Cringe on YouTube, but I see their tweets pop up when they're announcing a new video or when they're pushing back against people. I like to get an idea of where they're kind of at with their thinking. Not necessarily am I going to reply to every tweet and then start talking shit about them. No. Actually, I haven't directly engaged with them in quite a while. But yeah, I don't actually quote tweet them or whatever to get into arguments with them. More of just seeing what they have to say. But apparently that was enough to get me unflagged for being trans positive. Oh well, what can you do, right?
Week, and sort of give my opinion on it. And the overall TLDR of the whole document is there is no evidence for these things. I would like evidence to be there. And in the comment section is a perfect place for people to put evidence. And to my knowledge, or at least when we started this conversation, no evidence has been shown of any of the things, any of the claims that were being made. And I'm happy for and wanting, I'm begging for anyone who is making these claims to drop evidence in there. I think when you get to like a questionable gray area is like when we have disagreements over whether like me being snarky is harassment or not, or things like that, right? Like that's where it comes down to those situations, if that makes sense. So that's my whole point here. My whole point here was I think I'm being unfairly accused and I'm standing up for myself.
Right. And I again, as a complete outsider, because I want to view this as the customer here. All right. I am the customer. I'm the consumer here. I'm looking at this and I'm seeing a whole bunch of frankly shit going on here, and I know nothing. So from the outside, I am going to take you at your word for this. When you post all this here, a lot of people are saying, no, that's not true. No, that's not true. If you're saying that in the comments, I want screenshots. Okay. Now I'm not going to say whether or not you're right or you're wrong here, because I'm going to err on the side of I would like to see screenshots. Now I do think there is like.
Agreed. I have no idea who that person is, but I agree. Show your receipts. Show your receipts.
A lot of rabidness from because humans are humans, and people would like to build the rest of what they see in their head. If you only give a partial truth, or if people don't see the entire puzzle, they're going to build up the rest of it without you, and it doesn't matter what you say. They're just going to build up the rest of it. So chat, if there is stuff out there, all right, I'm on nobody's side here. Please give it to me. I would like to see it because
I'm on Marina's side explicitly, but still, show me the evidence. Show me the receipts. Show me what you actually want to criticize her for. Because I will give her some criticism. I'll actually do it this stream before I actually log off, because I want to make sure that there is at least a way of showing you can give good faith, constructive criticism of people you like.
If that's the case, if there is actual grievances here, I would like to debate about it. But
agreed.
Right now, there's not really a whole lot to debate here. There's a lot of points that we could talk back and forth about harassment and transphobia and all that stuff. These are topics that I think would be good, but there's nothing here to really debate without this stuff. There's a lot of he said, she said, right. They said, whatever. There's a lot of people saying this, but unfortunately, as an outsider looking at it, it just feels like there's a lot of nuance and he said, she said, and all that kind of stuff. So again, no, go ahead.
I have a request. You can finish your thought, but my request is just can we take a like 3 to 5 minute break at some point in the very near future so I can use the restroom
Oh, go.
and
Do it
fill
now.
water and we can do stuff like
How
that?
about you take it right now?
I've-
That's totally fine.
Okay, can we do that? I have
Yeah.
and I have to say, you know, disagreements and stuff aside, like I have really valued and respected the fact that you all have come to talk with me today, or I'm sorry, allowed me, I should say, because I kind of burst through the door. I really appreciate the fact that you've allowed me to talk with you today. And you know, I really respect the fact that y'all were open to that. You know, instead of just sort of writing me off or blocking me the second that I came into stream. So thank you for that.
Well, I believe in the debate culture where if again I am of the belief that if
Fuck yeah, I believe in debate culture too. I have no idea who this is, but from what I've heard from this stream and them specifically, I'm kind of liking them. They're pretty pog. I'd like to check them out. I would like to know their name. Might not be able to stay for long, but thank you for working hard and offering solidarity with Marina as well as focusing on points and issues, being okay with disagreeing and agreeing on things. Yes, you can disagree with people and still stand together on the important shit.
if somebody says something that you don't like, all right, let's talk about it. Right? I think that
Agreed.
I think that, you know, if it's good, if it's bad, I want it to be there. One, so that we can get it out,
Yeah.
and two, so the chat has something that they can listen to, because at the end of the day, there's no winners except for chat. So
Yeah.
go ahead and take your break and we can resume in a
All
couple minutes.
Last I checked, Angel Tail is in the Discord.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and take a BRB. I'll be back in 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. Thank you.
Boop. And this is where I stopped watching live. So there is going to be more for tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe for more content, and if you want to join the community, feel free to check out the Discord. I love to voice chat in there, so if you want to ever talk, I'm usually available. Well, in the afternoons.